The chief of the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan, Huang Tian, had come to take revenge on Xiao Yan for what had happened before. He led a great force straight to the Nine Serene Yellow Springs, the sacred ground of the Nine Serene Deep Ground Python tribe, intending to capture Cai Lin while she was still cultivating inside. Seeing that Huang Tian had already made up his mind, Yao Ming, the chief of the Nine Serene Deep Ground Python tribe, immediately shouted in fury, "Huang Tian, don't go too far. This is the territory of my Nine Serene Deep Ground Python tribe." Huang Tian replied coldly, "Yao Ming, you secretly joined hands with Xiao Yan and ambushed the experts of my clan. I have not forgotten that matter. If you dare block me again today, then don't blame me for disregarding the old ties between our clans." "Humph. I have long heard that Chief Huang Tian's strength is extraordinary. Today, allow me, Yao Ming, to experience it for myself." Like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. You don't know your own limits. Although Yao Ming fought with all his strength, his cultivation had only reached the level of a 2-star Dou Sheng. Against Huang Tian, who had already advanced to the late stage of the 5-star Dou Sheng level, he could not withstand even a single move. With one attack, Huang Tian sent him flying backward, blood spurting from his mouth. Seeing this, the elders of the Nine Serene Deep Ground Python tribe rushed into the sky in anger. But before they could even attack, Huang Tian merely waved his hand, and all of them were blasted back down. "Is there anyone else? Next time, I will not show mercy." The indifferent voice echoing through the sky made many elders of the Nine Serene Deep Ground Python tribe flush red with rage. Huang Tian was not merely attacking them. He was humiliating them outright. At the same time, Yao Ming struggled to his feet and hurriedly joined the other elders to activate the tribe's protective formation, the Coiling Serpent Great Formation. A gigantic serpent, nearly 1,000 feet in size, appeared in the sky. Huang Tian, however, looked completely unconcerned. He ordered the experts of the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan to activate their own clan formation, summoning a massive golden phoenix that was no weaker in size than the giant serpent. The two enormous beasts immediately began tearing at each other in the sky. As for Huang Tian himself, his body flashed, and he swiftly appeared above the Nine Serene Yellow Springs. Yao Ming and the others had just begun directing the giant serpent to turn its attack toward him when the enormous phoenix condensed by the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan's formation pounced over and intercepted them. While Yao Ming and the others were tied down by the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan's experts, Huang Tian stretched out his hand and clawed downward. Instantly, pillars of water surged from the Nine Serene Yellow Springs and were forcibly pulled into the air. Yao Ming watched as Huang Tian turned the Nine Serene Yellow Springs upside down. His heart burned with rage, but he was held back and could not move at all. All he could do was pray that Cai Lin would not be disturbed. But even he knew that this was wishful thinking. If Huang Tian continued like this, sooner or later, he would truly drag Cai Lin out from the bottom of the Yellow Springs. "Brother Xiao Yan, I'm afraid I won't be able to fulfill what I promised you." As the water level of the Nine Serene Yellow Springs continued to drop, a faint and graceful figure gradually appeared beneath the surface. Just as Huang Tian was about to pull Cai Lin out by force, a violent soul sound wave suddenly slammed heavily into his body. Caught completely off guard, he was sent flying backward. He crashed through several mountain peaks before finally coming to a miserable stop. Then, a cold shout rang out, causing Huang Tian's expression to instantly turn ashen. "Huang Tian, you old dog. You're courting death." Yao Ming, who was still being held back by the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan, immediately let out a breath of relief when he saw that the newcomer was Xiao Yan. As long as this man had arrived, today's trouble would most likely be settled. Xiao Yan gave Yao Ming a slight nod, then waved his sleeve and sent the water pillars that Huang Tian had forcibly pulled out back into the Nine Serene Yellow Springs. Then he turned his gaze toward Huang Tian, who was slowly standing up from the ruins, his eyes filled with murderous intent. At that moment, Xiao Yan wanted nothing more than to tear that old bastard into 10,000 pieces. During secluded cultivation, the greatest taboo was being disturbed by force. If one was careless, the light consequence would be losing all progress. The serious consequence would be death. Xiao Yan's expression was icy, but Huang Tian's face was equally gloomy. In Huang Tian's eyes, Xiao Yan had not only used his son and his elders as hostages before, but had also violated the taboos of the heavenly demon phoenix clan. On top of that, Xiao Yan possessed the ancient heavenly phoenix wings. Any one of those crimes would have been enough for Huang Tian to kill him 10,000 times over. Today, I will use your life to tell everyone that anyone who violates the taboos of my clan, no matter who they are, will be killed without mercy. Xiao Yan looked at Huang Tian coldly. He treated each accusation Huang Tian listed with utter disdain. Originally, Xiao Yan had not truly wanted to form a blood feud with the heavenly demon phoenix clan. Back then, after capturing their young clan chief and 2 elders, he had not taken their lives. After Eastern Dragon Island gradually stabilized, he had even released all 3 of them. In a sense, Xiao Yan had already shown a degree of goodwill. But now it seemed that in the eyes of the heavenly demon phoenix clan, all of his actions had been seen as a different kind of weakness. Since goodwill could not be accepted, then it seemed only the most barbaric method would work. What an impressive kill without mercy. The heavenly demon phoenix clan truly is overbearing. I only wonder whether Chief Huang Tian actually has the qualification to say such words. Don't think that just because you defeated the Hall Chief of the Hall of Souls, you are qualified to act arrogantly in front of me. As soon as he finished speaking, Huang Tian moved. In an instant, he appeared before Xiao Yan, condensing a brilliant golden giant claw that tore viciously toward him. Facing that attack, which ripped through space itself, Xiao Yan did not back down. He wrapped his palm in the purifying lotus demon flame and unleashed the Yellow Spring's palm, meeting the strike head-on. But under that collision, Xiao Yan was forced back several steps. After all, Huang Tian was a late-stage 5-star Dou Sheng. His true body was also that of a heavenly demon phoenix. In a direct clash, Xiao Yan, who was only at the early stage of the 5-star Dou Sheng level, naturally could not gain much advantage. However, Huang Tian did not come out unscathed either. His palm had become completely charred black. Clearly, he had suffered from the purifying lotus demon flame. After stabilizing himself, Xiao Yan spread his ancient heavenly phoenix wings and pulled some distance away from Huang Tian. This old bastard's speed was too fast. Fighting at close range was not beneficial to Xiao Yan. But Huang Tian clearly had no intention of letting Xiao Yan off so easily. He immediately displayed one of the secret techniques of the heavenly demon phoenix clan. Countless golden figures appeared and surrounded Xiao Yan from every direction. Each figure threw out sharp fist winds, shattering the space within a 100-foot radius. Xiao Yan's body flickered rapidly within a small area as he dodged at high frequency. At the beginning of the fight, Huang Tian's speed did indeed leave Xiao Yan somewhat flustered and miserable. Even ordinary 6-star Dou Sheng experts could not compare to Huang Tian's speed. But Xiao Yan's soul strength had already reached the great perfection of the heavenly state. As his soul power spread outward, those golden figures gradually became illusory in his eyes. In the end, only one real figure remained, appearing at his left side. After finding Huang Tian's true body, Xiao Yan immediately activated the Xiao Clan tattoo, raising his strength to the late stage of the 5-star Dou Sheng level. At the same time, a cold smile flashed through his heart. Humph. So this so-called heavenly phoenix technique is nothing more than this. After Huang Tian stabilized himself, he laughed in extreme anger. Good. Very good. As expected of someone who could defeat the Hall Chief of the Hall of Souls. I truly underestimated you today. A massive heavenly demon phoenix phantom, thousands of feet in size, appeared in the sky. Not far away, Yao Ming's expression became extremely grave. He had not expected Huang Tian to become so enraged by Xiao Yan that he would directly reveal the heavenly demon phoenix's true form. Once Huang Tian did this, his strength would increase by at least 30%. It seems brother Xiao Yan's situation is not looking good. As Huang Tian lightly flapped his wings, the space around him was torn open into enormous cracks. The sight caused countless onlookers nearby to suck in cold breaths. With Huang Tian's current physical strength, even attacks from 3-star or even 4-star Dou Sheng experts would likely leave him unharmed. But to Xiao Yan, this still did not pose much of a threat. After all, he possessed a sonic dose skill that could directly attack the soul. So when Huang Tian charged at him with overwhelming momentum, Xiao Yan immediately unleashed the Yellow Spring Sky Wrath. The soul sound wave struck Huang Tian, and his eyes instantly turned blood red. He gritted his teeth and endured the intense pain in his soul, then flapped his wings again and continued crashing toward Xiao Yan. Seeing Huang Tian fight so desperately, Xiao Yan changed his hand seals and unleashed Yellow Spring's Sky Wrath 3 more times in succession. Huang Tian was struck by 4 soul attacks in total. Even with his strength, his soul began to tremble violently. In the distance, Yao Ming looked at Xiao Yan with lingering fear. A soul impact of this level would probably cause his own soul to collapse after just 2 hits. Yet Huang Tian had managed to endure 4 without dying. The strength of a late-stage 5-star Dou Sheng was indeed terrifying. But even now, Huang Tian was still suppressing the intense pain from the depths of his soul and charging straight at Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan, I want to see how many more times you can use that. Watching Huang Tian appear in front of him in an instant, about to slam into him, Xiao Yan flicked his finger. A beautiful 6-colored fire lotus slowly emerged. Just as he was about to throw it out, a 9-colored beam of light suddenly burst from the 9 serene yellow springs and shot between Xiao Yan and Huang Tian. As everyone stared in astonishment, a 9-colored giant python, even larger than Huang Tian's phoenix body, shot out from the beam of light and tightly coiled around Huang Tian's body. Yao Ming and the elders of the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe looked at the enormous 9-colored python stretching across the sky and earth. Their faces filled with shock as they drew in cold breaths. This is a 7-colored heaven-swallowing python? No. That is not a 7-colored heaven-swallowing python. It is the legendary 9-colored heaven-swallowing python. At that moment, stormy waves surged through Yao Ming's heart. The 9-colored heaven-swallowing python was a divine beast that existed only in ancient legends. Such an existence was even stronger than the ancient heavenly serpent, the ancestor of snake-type magical beasts. Only now did Yao Ming finally understand why Xiao Yan had allowed Cai Lin to cultivate in the Yellow Springs, a place where even he could not remain for long. So this woman actually possessed such a terrifying identity. At the same time, Huang Tian, who was tightly bound by the giant python, was also filled with disbelief. He had never imagined that an existence comparable to the ancient heavenly phoenix would still exist in this world. After recovering from his shock, he hurriedly used all his strength to break free from Cai Lin's restraint. Then the 7-colored snake spirits on Cai Lin's body suddenly fell away by themselves. In the next instant, they transformed into dozens of enormous 7-colored heaven-swallowing pythons. As they wrapped around one another, they formed a huge colorful net that completely surrounded Huang Tian. Sensing the terrifying pressure of that net, even Huang Tian felt his scalp turn numb. If he were struck by it, even he would probably be seriously injured today. So Huang Tian's body trembled, and he transformed back into human form. After breaking free of Cai Lin's restraint, he immediately fled toward a gap in the giant net. But just as Huang Tian thought he was about to escape, Cai Lin's tail lashed out viciously and smashed him toward the ground. Huang Tian spat out a mouthful of blood on the spot. His body shattered a mountain peak and carved a deep trench nearly 1,000 feet long into the earth before he finally came to a slow stop. After sending that feathered bastard flying with one tail strike, Cai Lin transformed back into human form. With a wave of her hand, she withdrew the dozens of 7-colored heaven-swallowing python souls back into her body, then instantly appeared before Xiao Yan. Your retreat is finished? Your strength has improved quite a bit again. How can I compare with you? I thought I'd be able to surpass you after coming out this time. Alright, stop messing around. What level is your strength now? I should be at the 4-star Dou Sheng level. That attack earlier didn't look like something a 4-star Dou Sheng could use. That was with the help of external strength. According to Cai Lin, hidden at the bottom of the 9 serene yellow springs was the nest of the 7-colored heaven-swallowing python clan. There, she had obtained the inheritance of her predecessors. Some of those predecessors' physical bodies had been destroyed, but their souls still remained. Cai Lin had awakened them, and those souls now resided within her body. It was only by borrowing the strength of her predecessors that Cai Lin could contend against Huang Tian. If she had relied on her own strength alone, she would likely have been unable to defeat that feathered bastard. While the two were speaking, Huang Tian finally staggered to his feet not far away. At that moment, his intestines were practically green with regret. If he had known that Xiao Yan's woman was actually a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python, he would never have come to stir up this muddy water, even if he were beaten to death. Xiao Yan glanced at the now silent Huang Tian and slowly said, "Chief Huang Tian, do you still intend to continue capturing people?" "Xiao Yan, this time, I admit defeat." "You don't seriously think that just saying you admit defeat is enough to let this matter pass, do you?" "Saying I admit defeat does not mean I am afraid. If you truly force me into a life-and-death fight, even if I cannot defeat you, I can definitely drag one of you down with me." The coldness in Xiao Yan's eyes did not lessen at all. Beside him, 9-colored light once again began to glow from Cai Lin's body. Seeing that this husband and wife were truly serious, Huang Tian's heart turned bitter. In his current condition, if he really had to face Xiao Yan and Cai Lin together, there was a 70 to 80% chance that he would not survive. So he immediately said that he could tell Xiao Yan a piece of news. Perhaps after hearing it, Xiao Yan would lose all interest in staying here. "Speak. You seem to have a very good relationship with the Dragon Emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. Do not test what little patience I have left. If I were you, I would rush to the empty realm immediately. Otherwise, I'm afraid you may only arrive in time to collect that Dragon Emperor's corpse." Xiao Yan's expression sank completely. He immediately raised his hand. The dragon seal that had originally existed in his palm was now gradually fading. Without another word, Xiao Yan struck out with his palm and tore open a spatial crack in front of him. He quickly flew inside. Seeing this, Cai Lin immediately followed. Watching Xiao Yan and Cai Lin leave in such a hurry, Huang Tian had just been about to laugh when a chilling voice came from within the spatial crack and froze him stiff. "Huang Tian, I will remember what happened today. If anything happens to Ziyan, I will make your entire Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan pay with their lives." As for the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan, which had been frightened badly by Xiao Yan and Cai Lin, Huang Tian planned to wait until the ancient Void Dragon tribe's internal conflict left both sides badly wounded. Then the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan could reap the benefits. With that thought, the old schemer led the experts of the Heavenly Demon Phoenix clan away from the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe in a sorry state. Yao Ming did not dare stop them. After letting out a slight breath of relief, he began dealing with the aftermath of the great battle. Meanwhile, in the empty realm, Xiao Yan pushed his speed to the limit. His expression was extremely grave. Ever since the last defeat of the 3 great dragon kings, the situation of the ancient Void Dragon tribe had become very favorable for Eastern Dragon Island. Under those circumstances, unification was no longer impossible. As for the 3 injured dragon kings who had escaped, although they would still cause some obstruction to the tribe's unification, their strength should not have been enough to create a major disaster. Xiao Yan truly could not understand what had happened within the ancient Void Dragon tribe that could cause the dragon seal Ziyan had left him to become increasingly dim. It seemed that the girl was now in an extremely dangerous situation. Suppressing the rage in his heart, Xiao Yan and Cai Lin rushed toward the direction indicated by the dragon seal sensation. At that same moment, above northern Dragon Island, a foul-smelling blood-colored formation was slowly rotating. Not far from the island, the elders of Eastern Dragon Island were filled with anger and shock. It turned out that Zhu Li and the army of Eastern Dragon Island had followed Ziyan here to attack the Northern Dragon King. But none of them had expected that this scum would actually use a forbidden technique of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, the Dragon Transformation Demon Array. In this formation, the caster served as the core. All ancient Void Dragon clansmen within the formation would have their essence blood devoured and poured into the caster's body, causing the caster's strength to increase greatly. But this secret technique was too cruel. Because of that, it had once been ordered destroyed by the Dragon Emperor of that era, with the Northern Dragon King's grandfather responsible for carrying out the task. No one had expected that the old bastard had secretly kept it. Now, the Northern Dragon King had used it. What made everyone's scalp tingle even more was that this madman had activated the formation directly over Northern Dragon Island. Because of the 3-Island Alliance, many experts from the 3 islands had gathered here. As a result, aside from a small number of people, most of the experts on the island had turned into bloodwater and were devoured by the Northern Dragon King, who stood at the center of the formation. While Zhu Li and the others did not dare step forward, the bloodlight surged, and two figures locked in fierce combat tore through the blood mist and appeared before everyone's eyes. One of them was Zi Yan. But at that moment, her face was pale and her aura was weak. In her hand, the dragon-slaying sword, which looked like flowing liquid, had been summoned again. However, this time, the dragon-slaying sword did not seem as powerful as before. Opposite Zi Yan stood a blood-colored monster with 3 enormous heads. That person was the Northern Dragon King, who had devoured the bodies and souls of the Western and Southern Dragon Kings. The current Northern Dragon King's strength had already far surpassed Zi Yan's. If he had not been somewhat wary of the orthodox dragon-slaying sword in her hand, Zi Yan would likely have already died at his hands. Facing the Northern Dragon King's crazed attacks, Zi Yan clenched her teeth and endured with all her strength. Northern Dragon King, if you use the Dragon Transformation Demon Array, sooner or later you will be blinded by slaughter and lose your reason. You will become a beast that only knows how to kill. A beast, then a beast. The ancient Void Dragon tribe can only be unified by me. The Dragon Emperor can only be me. After saying this, he grabbed 3 ancient Void Dragon clansmen from nearby and hurled them viciously at Zi Yan. Dragon Emperor, don't you want to save people? Then I'll let you save enough of them. Seeing this, golden light surged around Zi Yan, and she pushed out a hidden force. But just as she sent the 3 people out of the Dragon Transformation Demon Array, the Northern Dragon King suddenly appeared before her and pierced through her shoulder with one strike. After suffering such a heavy blow, Zi Yan spat out blood and flew backward. The Northern Dragon King looked at Zi Yan, whose aura had now become utterly weak, with a crazed expression. Then he reached his hand toward the top of her head. Outside the blood formation, the experts of Eastern Dragon Island were terrified when they saw this scene. But just as the Northern Dragon King's palm was about to land on Zi Yan's head, a cluster of pink flames suddenly rose. It quickly turned into a fire barrier, firmly protecting Zi Yan inside. The terrifying heat made the Northern Dragon King hesitate and prevented him from attacking recklessly. At the same time, space rippled, and Xiao Yan and Cai Lin, who had rushed over at full speed, slowly appeared. Northern Dragon King. So it really was you causing trouble. Humph. Huang Tian, that fellow, truly is useless. He only delayed you for such a short time. But it doesn't matter. The great matter is already complete. Have you come here to add yourself as another sacrifice for me? Looking at the monster before him, whose strength had risen so greatly, Xiao Yan frowned slightly. He had not expected that this old bastard would become so vicious and ruthless for the sake of unifying the ancient dragon tribe. While Xiao Yan frowned, Zi Yan, who was beside him, had already become extremely pale because of the corrosion from the dragon-transforming blood energy inside the formation. If not for her Dragon Emperor constitution, her life would likely already have been in danger. Although Zi Yan's strength had improved quite quickly over the past 2 years, she still had not broken through to the 5-star Dou Sheng level. Meanwhile, the Northern Dragon King, relying on this formation, had faintly stepped into the 6-star Dou Sheng level. Because of that, the moment Zi Yan saw Xiao Yan and Cai Lin, she told them to leave immediately. This monster's strength had now reached such a terrifying level. It was no longer something that could be made up for by simply having more Dou Sheng experts. But Xiao Yan ignored her. Instead, he flicked his finger and summoned the purifying Lotus Demon Flame, slowly helping Zi Yan purify the remaining blood energy inside her body. After being cleansed, Zi Yan once again returned to the appearance of a young girl. She was too weak and could only return to the form that consumed the least energy. This form is cuter, Cai Lin said softly. Cai Lin, take her out first. Leave this place to me, Xiao Yan said. He is very strong, Cai Lin said with some concern. I have never forced myself to act beyond my ability. Only then did Zi Yan suddenly realize that Xiao Yan's strength had once again surpassed hers. Do you not need my help? Xiao Yan shook his head slightly. In his view, the Northern Dragon King could not be considered a true 6-star Dou Sheng. Defeating him was not impossible. Moreover, there were still many ancient Void Dragon clansmen inside the formation. Xiao Yan wanted Cai Lin to get those people out first. Otherwise, the Northern Dragon King could devour their blood energy at any time and keep his battle strength at its peak. Hearing this, Cai Lin did not say anything more. She grabbed Zi Yan and appeared before the elders of Eastern Dragon Island. Seeing this, the elders immediately swarmed over in concern. If anything happened to Zi Yan, then the ancient Void Dragon tribe might truly never have another chance to unify. As for Cai Lin and Zi Yan leaving, the Northern Dragon King did not stop them. In his eyes, this merely extended their lives for a little while. Once he dealt with Xiao Yan, he would devour every single person here one by one. Thinking of this, the Northern Dragon King looked at Xiao Yan with a sinister expression. You have the power of the Dragon Emperor bloodline inside you. Perfect. I'll let you taste the power of the dragon-slaying sword. After saying that, the blood-red giant sword in his hand slashed viciously toward Xiao Yan's head. Xiao Yan did not back down. He unleashed the Yellow Spring's palm and collided with it head-on. However, the energy palm print was directly split in two by the blade, and the remaining force forced Xiao Yan back dozens of steps. Suppressing the churning blood and qi within his body, Xiao Yan's eyes flashed with seriousness. As expected, he has barely reached the level of a 6-star Dou Sheng. In that case, I can test that move. As Xiao Yan's hands rapidly formed seals, Xiao Yi inside his body formed the exact same seals. In the next moment, a destructive and overwhelming aura swept out from Xiao Yan's body. Human and flame as one. Destructive flame body. At that moment, Xiao Yan's entire body was wrapped in pink flames. Slowly, he transformed into something like a transparent pink glass figure. The ancient heavenly phoenix wings on his back were gradually replaced by a pair of broad flaming wings. This destructive flame body released the energy of the heavenly flame to its limit, then merged it with the physical body. But doing this required nearly perfect control over the heavenly flame. After all, heavenly flames were far too violent, while the inside of the human body was far too fragile. No one would dare casually use a heavenly flame to alter their own body. Even Xiao Yan in the past would not have dared to do such a thing. But after Xiao Yi appeared, that hidden danger disappeared completely. The current Xiao Yan could be said to be a walking destructive fire lotus. However, this form was far too tyrannical, and its consumption of Dou Qi was extremely severe. It could only last for 1 minute. But for Xiao Yan, 1 minute was already enough. Not far away, Zhu Li and the others watched Xiao Yan's aura surge wildly, and all of them felt ashamed of themselves. Back when Zhu Li first met him, Xiao Yan had merely been a 9-star Dou Zun who had been beaten badly by old ghost Zhai Xing. No one had expected that in just 3 short years, he would grow to such a terrifying level. It seemed that today, the Taishu ancient dragons might finally have a chance to survive. Seeing the change in Xiao Yan, the North Dragon King's wariness surged. He immediately let out a sharp shout. Humph, pretending to be mysterious. No one can change your fate today. Blood Dragon Heaven. Within the blood formation, a gigantic ferocious blood dragon suddenly condensed into shape. As blood energy gathered, the bodies of the ancient dragon clansmen across Dragon Island began exploding one after another, their flesh and blood being drawn into it. Cai Lin was swiftly throwing the bound ancient dragon clansmen out of the blood formation, but even though she was fast, many were still blasted into bloody remains. When the last strand of blood energy merged into the blood dragon, the North Dragon King moved and burrowed into its body. Then, from the blood dragon's mouth, a beam of blood light shot violently toward Xiao Yan. Watching the blood light rapidly expand in his eyes, Xiao Yan showed no intention of dodging. Instead, he quickly examined his current state. A faint look of intoxication appeared on Xiao Yan's face, which now seemed like pink glass. At this moment, he was the purifying lotus demon flame itself. If he had enough abundant Dou Qi, Xiao Yan could even fully unleash the world-destroying power of the purifying lotus demon flame. This was the pinnacle of flame, the perfect fusion between man and fire. Across the entire Dou Qi Continent, perhaps only Xiao Yan could achieve such a state. Xiao Yan took a deep breath, then transformed directly into a flaming meteor and charged head-on into the bloodlight. That bloodlight, which could easily destroy a 5-star Dou Sheng, dimmed rapidly the instant it touched him, until it finally disappeared completely. Facing Xiao Yan, who was flying toward him at terrifying speed, the blood dragon formed by the North Dragon King revealed a crazed look in its eyes. This king will not lose. As soon as his voice fell, A blood bead slowly condensed inside the blood dragon's mouth. Seeing this, Ziyan, Zhu Li, and the others outside the blood formation trembled with rage. This was the dragon soul bead, formed from the souls of all the ancient dragon clansmen who had just died. They had never imagined that this deranged bastard would not only devour the flesh and blood of his own clansmen, but would even refuse to spare their souls. The blood bead whistled through the void and finally slammed heavily into Xiao Yan. Seeing this, the North Dragon King immediately burst into wild laughter. Ha ha ha! Xiao Yan, let's see whether you die this time. No one can stop this king's footsteps. But the moment his words fell, he was horrified to see that the blood bead was slowly spinning in Xiao Yan's hand. The bloody aura it originally contained was being rapidly purified by Xiao Yan's purifying lotus demon flame, until its connection with the North Dragon King was completely severed. What? How is this possible? What kind of heavenly flame is that? The purifying lotus demon flame can purify all things. Even souls can be purified by it. The purifying lotus demon flame? How could this brat possess the purifying lotus demon flame? Xiao Yan ignored the North Dragon King's shock. At this moment, the blood energy inside the blood bead in his palm had been completely sealed by him. From within it, Xiao Yan could also sense the remnant souls of the ancient dragon clansmen devoured by the North Dragon King. The people inside asked me to return this to you. Looking at the pink bead Xiao Yan flicked toward him, the North Dragon King said nothing and immediately retreated at top speed. He understood better than anyone how terrifying the energy inside the dragon soul bead was. If he were struck by it, he would truly be finished this time. Unfortunately, although he was extremely fast, the pink bead was even faster. It caught up to him and exploded violently against his body. Seeing the terrifying energy storm sweep across the sky, Zhu Li and the others all revealed wild joy on their faces. Did we win? Lord Dragon Emperor, this Mr. Xiao Yan is truly the lucky star of our ancient dragon clan. Mr. Xiao Yan has saved our clan several times. We must repay such great kindness. Yes. Mr. Xiao Yan has indeed shown enormous kindness to our Taishu ancient dragon clan. I understand what you mean. Once the ancient dragon clan completes its unification, our clan will form an alliance with the Heavenly Palace Alliance. Hearing the conversation between Elder Zhu Li and the others, Ziyan quietly let out a sigh of relief. These stubborn old fellows had finally been able to set aside their former pride and agree to an alliance. In this way, both sides would gain considerable benefits. However, just as everyone was filled with joy, the North Dragon King, relying on the powerful physical body of the Taishu ancient dragon clan, had not been completely blown apart. Although he had barely escaped with his life, he no longer had any strength left to fight. Xiao Yan, remember this. This king will definitely repay this grudge. Seeing that the North Dragon King wanted to flee, Xiao Yan flapped his fire wings. In a few flashes, he appeared above the former's head. He directly used the Yellow Spring Sky Wrath, striking the North Dragon King so hard that he was left dizzy and disoriented just as he was about to self-destruct. Xiao Yan then grabbed the top of his skull. Seeing this, the North Dragon King was completely terrified. Don't kill me. You've won. I can give up the 3 Great Dragon Islands. From now on, I won't be the North Dragon King anymore. Humph. You change your mind pretty quickly. Xiao Yan, let me go. From now on, I will never appear in front of you again. Not a bad idea. But killing you is more convenient. As he spoke, Xiao Yan sent a scorching hidden force into the North Dragon King's mind. Even his soul was rapidly evaporated into nothingness under the terrifying heat of the purifying lotus demon flame. Looking at the North Dragon King's limp body, Xiao Yan raised his brows with interest. This body was actually an excellent treasure for refining a puppet. As Xiao Yan carried the corpse, Ziyan flew over with a complicated expression. Now that the North Dragon King had fallen, the unification of the 3 Great Dragon Islands was already inevitable. However, most of the clansmen on North Dragon Island, along with the West and South Dragon Kings, had all fallen victim to the North Dragon King's cruelty. For the Taishu ancient dragon clan, which had already suffered from internal strife for so long, this was no small blow. After a moment of silence, Xiao Yan could only comfort Ziyan. This is still a good beginning. After the ancient dragon clan is unified, with you, someone who possesses the Dragon Emperor bloodline, as its leader, the clan will surely surpass the Dragon Emperors of the past. Hearing this, Zi Yan smiled faintly. This time, I really must thank you. If you hadn't arrived, there's no need for such polite words between us. Xiao Yan interrupted her, then raised the North Dragon King's corpse in his hand and asked, "Can I keep this thing?" "What do you want his corpse for?" "This fellow's body is extremely powerful. After being tempered by that so-called dragon transformation demon formation, it has become even more terrifying. If I can refine it into a puppet, its power definitely won't be weak. After all, those sky demon puppets I had before were long ago left at the Falling Star Pavilion to guard the gates. Besides, because of the materials used to refine them, their growth had already reached its limit at the Dou Zun level. For the current me, they're no longer of any help. In any case, the North Dragon King is already dead. Consider it making use of waste. Normally, members of the ancient dragon clan are buried in the dragon tomb after death. But this time, you've helped me so much, and the North Dragon King committed such terrible sins. I doubt the elders of the clan would agree to let him be buried in the dragon tomb." So Zi Yan agreed to Xiao Yan's request. "If you need it, take it." "Hee, then many thanks, Lord Dragon Emperor. You should all stay on East Dragon Island and rest for a while. Now that the 3 Dragon Kings have been killed, I also need to prepare for the integration of the 4 Dragon Islands." After saying this, Zi Yan organized the clan's experts and entered North Dragon Island to search for surviving clansmen. Next, under the deterrence of Dragon Emperor Zi Yan, the unification of the 4 Dragon Islands proceeded far more smoothly than expected. The 4 Dragon Islands floating in the empty void were once again brought together under the combined efforts of the ancient dragon experts. While the Taishu ancient dragon clan was boiling with excitement over its reunification, Xiao Yan and Cai Lin chose to temporarily remain on Dragon Island. After Xiao Yan restored his condition to its peak, he found a secret chamber and immediately entered seclusion. This time, he was going to refine the North Dragon King's body into a puppet. As for the materials required for the refinement, Xiao Yan had already gathered them on Dragon Island. He wrapped the North Dragon King's body in the purifying lotus demon flame, threw it into the medicinal cauldron, and began a refinement process that lasted dozens of days. Because he had already gained experience refining the old ground demon ghost last time, Xiao Yan's refinement this time appeared much smoother. However, when the 11th day arrived, the nearly completed North Dragon King puppet suddenly opened its eyes. "Ha ha ha ha. Xiao Yan, thank you for helping this king complete this step of tempering. If you want to blame something, blame yourself. You only scattered this king's soul. For us Taishu ancient dragons, the body is the soul, and the soul is the body." After saying this, he threw a vicious punch towards Xiao Yan's head. Yet Xiao Yan showed not the slightest panic. A sly expression appeared on his face as he lightly tapped with his finger. The purifying lotus demon flame instantly invaded the North Dragon King's body and quickly located that remnant soul imprint, firmly wrapping around it. The sudden change caused the North Dragon King to scream in terror. "What did you do to this king? You dare to use soul-hiding methods in front of me. You really overestimated yourself." It turned out that when Xiao Yan had scattered the North Dragon King's soul earlier, he had deliberately left behind a hidden strand inside the body. This remnant soul had inherited all of the North Dragon King's battle experience. Only by refining it and merging it with the body could this puppet truly possess its own awareness and no longer be so rigid. As the North Dragon King's final remnant soul was refined by Xiao Yan and merged into the puppet's mind, the originally empty eyes of the North Dragon King gradually gained a trace of vitality. Xiao Yan then flicked his finger. A drop of essence blood shot out from his fingertip and landed between the puppet's brows. Immediately, a feeling of mental connection arose. Looking at the black steel-like figure in front of him, Xiao Yan said softly, "From now on, you will be called North King." "Yes, master." This puppet was different from the sky demon puppets of the past. Sky demon puppets had no intelligence and relied entirely on Xiao Yan's control when fighting. But now, as long as Xiao Yan's mind moved, North King would take the initiative to attack. When fighting others, he would not show the slightest stiffness of a puppet. According to Xiao Yan's estimate, North King's current strength was comparable to a 5-star Dou Sheng. However, a puppet could not use Dou Qi and relied entirely on physical strength, so Xiao Yan had to find a way to raise his power further. In the past, sky demon puppets increased their strength by absorbing lightning energy. This time, since Xiao Yan had refined another puppet, he naturally used the same method. Now the only problem was where to obtain enough lightning energy. If he relied on refining pills to summon pill lightning, then even if Xiao Yan exhausted himself to death, it would probably still be impossible for North King to break through to the 6-star Dou Sheng level. After a moment of silence, Xiao Yan suddenly thought of the void lightning pool deep within ancient Dragon Island. Perhaps it was time to make a trip there. After making up his mind, Xiao Yan walked outside and explained things to Cai Lin. Then he took North King directly toward the depths of ancient Dragon Island. Looking at the enormous lightning pool not far away, Xiao Yan let out a soft sigh. This was the place where he had first encountered old Dean Mang Tianqi back then. Mang Tianqi had been miserably chased by strange black lightning. At that time, Xiao Yan had not dared to touch those bolts of lightning at all. But now, his target was precisely them. Xiao Yan leapt forward, bringing North King into the lightning pool as they headed toward its deepest region. Along the way, many bolts of lightning tried to attack Xiao Yan. However, because he possessed the purifying lotus demon flame within his body, those bolts of lightning came to an abrupt stop while still dozens of feet away from him. When they reached the deepest region, Xiao Yan's expression instantly became solemn. No wonder even Dean Mang Tianqi had been forced to turn around and flee back then. Ahead of him, black lightning slowly squirmed like giant dragons. Even with Xiao Yan's current strength as a 5-star Dou Sheng, he had to treat it seriously. Looking at the dense clusters of black lightning in the sky, Xiao Yan found it hard to believe for a moment. This was the black demon lightning that could only be summoned when refining 9th-tier medicinal pills. Back when Xiao Yan had refined pills in the small pill tower, he had once attracted it as well, but that had only been a single bolt. Here, however, the quantity was terrifying. Fortunately, his current strength was no longer what it had once been. After observing for a while, Xiao Yan allowed North King to slowly approach the depths of the lightning pool. A black bolt of lightning dozens of feet thick viciously struck North King's body. Xiao Yan watched nervously as black lightning coiled all over North King. A moment later, joy surged into his eyes, because he could clearly sense that the violently destructive lightning energy was gradually turning into strands of energy that merged into North King's flesh and bones, making him stronger and stronger. However, just as Xiao Yan was delighted, the black demon lightning circling in the sky seemed to feel provoked. All of it smashed down toward North King. Although Xiao Yan hurriedly controlled North King to flee, the speed of lightning was simply too fast. Immediately, thunderous explosions rang out endlessly in the depths of the lightning pool. Fortunately, the physical body of a Taishu ancient dragon was extremely tough, and North King was a puppet tempered by the purifying lotus demon flame. Thus, North King was only sent flying dozens of feet away and suffered no real damage. Moreover, he quickly absorbed the lightning energy. Seeing this, Xiao Yan was overjoyed. With a thought, he made North King sit cross-legged and freely absorb the lightning energy. Xiao Yan estimated that at this rate, North King would be able to reach the 6-star Dou Sheng level within a month. Just as Xiao Yan sat nearby with his eyes closed, quietly waiting, a small strand of the lightning that struck North King fell onto him. It was swallowed by a pink flame that suddenly emerged from within Xiao Yan's body on its own. A pure energy, carrying a current-like sensation, suddenly flowed through Xiao Yan's body. Xiao Yan was stunned. This is the devouring power of the Nihility devouring flame? As soon as his voice fell, little E, the fire spirit, flashed out from his body. Opening its small mouth and inhaling, it swallowed several thick bolts of lightning into its stomach. At the same time, another vast and pure force surged unexpectedly within Xiao Yan's body. This time, he understood where that energy was coming from. Xiao Yan's heartbeat abruptly quickened. The black demon lightning was extremely violent, and the energy inside it was astonishing. Even though he possessed the purifying lotus demon flame, he had never thought of devouring it. Yet little E, who possessed some of the devouring power of the Nihility devouring flame, had actually managed to do so. As more and more black demon lightning was swallowed into little Yi's body, black arcs of electricity began flickering over its surface. While little E jumped into the deepest part of the lightning pool and devoured wildly, Xiao Yan hurriedly sat cross-legged and controlled the energy, circulating it along the route of the flame mantra before finally turning it into dense Dou Qi. According to Xiao Yan's estimate, if he could devour and absorb all of the black demon lightning here, reaching the late stage of Five-Star Dou Sheng would not be difficult at all. Thinking of this, he slowly closed his eyes and hurried to refine it. 2.5 months passed in the blink of an eye. During this time, no one knew how much black demon lightning had been devoured by North King and Little E, these two bottomless pits. The originally dense lightning energy had become somewhat thin, but the benefits it brought to all three of them were enormous. North King's skin had been tempered until it looked as though he were wearing a black Vajra battle armor. His combat strength was now enough to fight even a 6-star Dou Sheng. As for Xiao Yan, not only had he advanced from the early stage of 5-star Dou Sheng to the peak of the middle stage, but breaking through to the late stage of 5-star Dou Sheng in a short period of time was no longer impossible. And within the pink flame surrounding Little E, there was now actually a trace of black demon lightning's aura. Clearly, the attack power of the purifying lotus demon flame had also improved quite a bit. Although this harvest was already extremely satisfying, after several months of absorption, the three of them seemed to have developed resistance to the black demon lightning. If they continued cultivating, there would still be some improvement, but the efficiency had dropped sharply. After pondering for a moment, Xiao Yan finally decided to leave. After all, he had been away for so long. Cai Lin and the others were probably worried. But just as Xiao Yan was about to leave with North King and Little E, the space suddenly trembled violently. Then, the black lightning across the entire sky rushed overwhelmingly toward the depths of the lightning pool. Driven by curiosity, Xiao Yan slowly walked toward that area step by step. The closer he got, the denser that strange pressure became. At the center of the lightning sea, there was a giant dragon covered entirely in golden lightning. This was pill lightning that could only be summoned when refining a 9th-tier golden pill. The 9 profound golden lightning. One had to know that the 9 profound golden lightning would only appear when a 9th-tier golden pill was successfully refined. If lightning had a ranking similar to the heavenly flame ranking, then this lightning would occupy a position equivalent to the purifying lotus demon flame or even the nihility devouring flame. Even ordinary Dou Sheng experts would immediately be reduced to ashes if they touched even a trace of it. On the current continent, no one had refined a 9th-tier golden pill for thousands of years. Xiao Yan's alchemy skills, when viewed across the entire continent, might not dare claim to be number 1, but entering the top 3 should not be difficult. Yet even the highest quality pill he had refined so far was only a 9th-tier treasure pill. As for a 9th-tier profound pill, he had never even attempted one, let alone the even higher level 9th-tier golden pill. At this moment, even with Xiao Yan's composure, he could not help feeling his breathing grow difficult. He did not fear the black demon lightning that circled before the golden giant dragon like subjects bowing in submission. But the lightning dragon that seemed to be sleeping was something he had to fear, because from its body, he sensed an extremely terrifying aura. According to his estimation, if measured using human levels, this lightning dragon was probably equivalent to a 7-star Dou Sheng. That level was something Xiao Yan simply could not contend with. So he immediately turned around and ran. However, those bolts of black demon lightning chased fiercely after him. From the looks of it, they clearly had no intention of letting this intruder into their territory go. Although the black demon lightning guarding this place bombarded Xiao Yan and the others wildly, under North King's strength and Little Yi's devouring ability, the danger was still manageable. But the commotion here awakened the sleeping 9 profound golden lightning. An incomparably thick bolt of lightning shot from its mouth. Its speed was so fast that Xiao Yan had no way to dodge. Thus, Xiao Yan quickly placed North King in front of him, while Little E also prepared to devour at any moment. As the lightning power struck North King's body, the powerful body that had devoured countless black demon lightning bolts actually showed a tiny crack this time. At the same time, Little E transformed the pink flame into a fiery shield, wrapping both Xiao Yan and North King inside. As Little E continuously devoured, waves of pure energy poured into Xiao Yan's body. By the time Little E had swallowed all the lightning power, Xiao Yan's body suddenly trembled. Wild joy appeared in his eyes, because with the help of the 9 profound golden lightning's power, he had actually broken through from the peak of the middle stage of 5-star Dou Sheng directly into the late stage. Just as Xiao Yan was delighted, he suddenly saw the golden lightning dragon deep in the lightning sea explode. Huge arcs of lightning and fire scattered in all directions, and a miserable dragon roar echoed through the entire void. This sight caused Xiao Yan, who had been rapidly retreating, to suddenly stop. Spiritual energy is gathering. This 9 profound golden lightning is forming intelligence. This so-called forming intelligence meant condensing spiritual wisdom. If this 9 profound golden lightning succeeded, it would transform into a 9 profound golden lightning with spiritual intelligence, just like the former purifying lotus demon flame. But the process was far from simple, because the terrifying energy inside its body would continuously backlash against it. The higher its level, the stronger the backlash. In other words, the 9 profound golden lightning was currently in an extremely weakened state. If Xiao Yan could somehow subdue it, his strength might be able to break through to 6-star Dou Sheng in one go. As the saying went, success was seized from the cracks, and fortune was sought amid danger. Even if he could not subdue it, it would not be too late to retreat when the time came. While Xiao Yan was silently thinking, the golden giant dragon's body continued to shrink under the backlash of the energy inside it, until it was less than 1/5 of its original size. Even though the black demon lightning rushed into the 9 profound golden lightning one after another to help it withstand part of the lightning backlash, they still could not suppress that fierce recoil. Once they failed to suppress it, the spiritual intelligence that the 9 profound golden lightning had painstakingly condensed would once again dissipate. However, if it could endure this trial, then in the future, it might grow into a terrifying existence like the Bodhisattva ancient tree. But the Bodhisattva ancient tree itself did not possess especially strong spiritual intelligence. After all, the stronger a spiritual object of heaven and earth was, the more difficult it was for it to condense intelligence. This was true of the Bodhisattva ancient tree, and it was also true of the 9 profound golden lightning. As the spiritual light in the 9 profound golden lightning's dragon eyes became increasingly dense, the explosions inside its golden dragon body became even more frantic. Seeing this, Xiao Yan let out a soft sigh. It looks like this big fellow is going to fail. At this moment, the 9 profound golden lightning's body had become much more illusory. Facing that terrifying backlash, it no longer had the strength to resist. When the 9 profound golden lightning lay deep in the lightning sea as though accepting its fate, the surrounding black demon lightning also stopped charging forward. They circled around it and let out low cries filled with sorrow. After seeing that the golden lightning dragon no longer posed any threat to him, Xiao Yan moved and arrived in front of it. He opened his mouth and said, "Your powerful energy is the greatest obstacle preventing you from gaining intelligence. Give your power to me, and I will help you form intelligence." After saying this, Xiao Yan wrapped his finger with heavenly flame and placed it on a dragon scale at the center of the giant dragon's forehead. Immediately, brilliant lightning slowly gathered in his palm, forming a miniature lightning dragon. The extraction of power proceeded very smoothly. The 9 profound golden lightning did not resist at all. Perhaps it had understood what Xiao Yan said, or perhaps it had already grown tired of this confused existence. As for the little lightning dragon filled with destructive power, Xiao Yan placed it inside little E. After all, his own body could not withstand this force right now. After finishing this, Xiao Yan changed his hand seal. Spiritual energy from heaven and earth quickly gathered, finally forming a seed of spiritual energy that slowly entered the 9 profound golden lightning's body. The current 9 profound golden lightning was probably only equivalent to a Dou Zun level existence. At this level, the backlash from forming intelligence would naturally disappear completely. Looking at the sudden surge of spiritual light in the dragon eyes of the 9 profound golden lightning, Xiao Yan smiled faintly. From now on, you will be the only 9 profound golden lightning in the world to possess spiritual intelligence. After saying this, Xiao Yan moved and shot toward the outside of the lightning pool. Watching his departing figure, a trace of reluctance appeared in the 9 profound golden lightning's eyes. Now, it was like a newborn little beast, treating Xiao Yan as its own family. Perhaps many years later, this 9 profound golden lightning would miss its master, just as the 3,000 burning flame once did. If many years from now you have achieved greatness, then remembering the friend you once had will be enough. After leaving the Void Lightning Pool, Xiao Yan quickly returned to Dragon Island. Now that the 4 Dragon Islands had unified, Dragon Island's area had become broader than ever before. The moment Xiao Yan stepped inside, he sensed no fewer than 10 Dou Sheng auras. He could not help praising inwardly. As expected of the Taishu ancient dragon clan. Even though they were no longer at their peak, they still could not be underestimated. After sighing in admiration, Xiao Yan moved and arrived at a quiet courtyard. When Cai Lin and Zi Yan sensed that Xiao Yan's strength had risen greatly, both of them found it somewhat unbelievable. In response, Xiao Yan merely gave a vague explanation, saying that he had encountered another opportunity. He did not explain the details. After all, the Void Lightning Pool was extremely dangerous. Even an ordinary 5-star Dou Sheng could not roam there easily. Xiao Yan did not want news of it to spread and cause some ancient dragon clansmen to lose their lives there. Furthermore, although the 9 profound golden lightning was currently only at the Dou Zun level, it now possessed spiritual intelligence. Xiao Yan believed that it would soon recover to its peak strength again. At present, since the Taishu ancient dragon clan had already stepped onto the right path, Xiao Yan was preparing to return to the Tianfu alliance. Although Zi Yan felt reluctant to part with him, she also understood that the Tianfu alliance had only just defeated the Hall of Souls, and Xiao Yan could not afford to stay away for too long. Before he left, Zi Yan told him that after discussion within the clan, all the elders of the ancient dragon clan had agreed to form an alliance with the Tianfu alliance. Xiao Yan hesitated when he heard this. The ancient dragon clan had only recently been unified, and its foundation was still unstable. He did not want to drag them into direct opposition against the Hun Clan so soon. Zi Yan, however, spoke firmly. This was the decision of the entire clan. Even as the Dragon Emperor, she could not change the will of her people. Besides, the Taishu ancient dragon clan had always repaid kindness with loyalty. Xiao Yan had saved the ancient dragon clan twice in moments of great danger, and every member of the clan remembered that debt. Since she had already said this much, Xiao Yan could only nod silently. Zi Yan then told him to send her greetings to the elders. When she had time in the future, she would visit Dragon Island again. And if the Tianfu alliance ever needed help, they only had to send someone to Dragon Island. The Taishu ancient dragon clan would do everything in its power to assist. Xiao Yan laughed heartily after hearing this and said no more. He took Cai Lin with him, tore open space, and flew toward the Tianfu alliance. During the months he had been away, he had no idea how much the Tianfu alliance had developed. In truth, while Xiao Yan had been gone, the alliance had continued to grow steadily. The Hall of Souls, however, had gone strangely silent, as though it had vanished completely. There had not been the slightest movement from them. During this period, the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe also joined the Tianfu alliance. After returning to the alliance, Xiao Yan informed some of the higher-ranking members that the Taishu ancient dragon clan had agreed to form an alliance with them. Naturally, everyone was overjoyed and gave their unanimous approval. However, this shocking news was not announced publicly. The first reason was so that, when the time came to confront the Hun Clan, they could catch the enemy off guard. The second reason was that Xiao Yan wanted to give the Taishu ancient dragon clan time to rest and recover. With the Hall of Souls no longer causing trouble, Xiao Yan finally had plenty of time to spend with Cai Lin and little Xiao Xiao. In his spare moments, he focused his attention on the 9 mysterious golden lightning inside Xiao Yi's body. Xiao Yan had long coveted that power, but he had never dared to absorb it recklessly. Yet even after studying it day and night, the miniature golden lightning dragon did not become any more obedient. Instead, Xiao Yi refined it into a golden lightning bead. Now, no matter what method Xiao Yan used, he could not absorb even the slightest bit of its power. After failing to make any progress, Xiao Yan used some of his free time to accompany Yao Lao in destroying one of the Hall of Souls branch halls. Strangely, the people there seemed to have received word in advance and had already withdrawn. During the following searches, members of the Tianfu alliance discovered that several of the smaller branch halls they had previously located were also completely empty. Considering how unusually quiet the Hall of Souls had been recently, Xiao Yan could not help suspecting that they were planning another conspiracy. Because of this, Yao Lao arranged for a large number of people from the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe to investigate secretly. Xiao Yan agreed with this arrangement. Then he turned to Yao Lao and asked whether the Yao Clan ceremony was about to begin. The moment Yao Lao heard this, his expression became complicated. Since leaving the Yao Clan all those years ago, Yao Lao had never returned. But this time, he had to go back, because before his parents passed away, he had promised them that he would have their names engraved on the clan's ancestral monument. That ancestral monument was a monument of honor within the Yao Clan. Only those who had made great achievements for the clan were qualified to have their names carved upon it. Yao Lao understood very clearly that returning this time to fulfill his parents' final wish would not be easy. Some people in the Yao Clan would certainly do everything they could to stop him. Seeing the complicated look on Yao Lao's face, Xiao Yan smiled gently and said that Yao Lao only needed to focus on the ancestral monument. Everything else could be left to his disciple. Hearing Xiao Yan's firm words, Yao Lao's eyes became slightly moist. The young eagle who had once needed protection beneath his wings had finally grown strong enough to shield him from the storm. Another month passed quietly. During this time, the Hall of Souls remained strangely silent. As for the 9 serene deep-ground Python tribe members who had been sent to gather information, they found nothing useful. The branch halls of the Hall of Souls they investigated were now guarded dozens of times more tightly than before. Although Xiao Yan and the others did not know what those people were planning, it was obvious that the Hall of Souls was not up to anything good. To guard against an attack from the Hall of Souls on the way to the Yao Clan, Yao Lao decided that only he and Xiao Yan would go. Venerable Feng and Cai Lin were somewhat worried, but seeing Yao Lao's insistence, they could only agree. The Yao Clan was located in the Shennong mountain range in the southern part of the Central Plains. Although this area was considered wild and ancient, it produced many rare medicinal ingredients. In addition, one of the ancient 8 clans, the Yao Clan, resided there, so the surrounding area of the Shennong mountain range was extremely lively. The Yao Clan ceremony was somewhat similar to the Pill Tower's pill gathering. Those participating were not only members of the Yao Clan, but also many top-tier alchemists who had been invited from outside. In a sense, this was a grand gathering of the true peak alchemists of the continent. Through this event, people would be able to see who deserved to be called the #1 alchemist on the continent. The Falling Star Pavilion was extremely far from the Shennong mountain range, but with Xiao Yan and Yao Lao traveling at full speed, they arrived smoothly in only half a day. Looking at the majestic mountain range before him, Xiao Yan could not help praising it. The natural energy in the surroundings was extremely rich, making cultivation here much faster than in other places. It seemed the Yao Clan had indeed occupied an excellent land. Yao Lao gazed at the mountain range with a complicated expression. It was both familiar and unfamiliar to him. Since leaving all those years ago, this was the first time he had returned. According to Yao Lao, this mountain range had been cultivated by one of the Yao Clan's ancestors over several hundred years, which was why the land was so fertile. Under Yao Lao's lead, the two arrived outside a spatial gate that led into the Yao Clan's realm. At this moment, people were constantly flying in and out. Without exception, each person handed a jade token to the guards dressed in Yao Clan robes before being permitted entry. The arrival of Xiao Yan and Yao Lao attracted the guards' attention. Others who came to the Yao Clan were respectful and cautious, but these two appeared far too calm. They showed no trace of reverence toward the Yao Clan at all. Before Xiao Yan could hand over the jade token, one of the guards scolded them, saying that no one was allowed to trespass into the Yao Clan and demanding to know who they were. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's overwhelming aura suddenly erupted, forcing the guards back. He spoke coldly, announcing that he was Xiao Yan of the Tianfu Alliance, and that Yao Chen had been invited to attend the Yao Clan ceremony. The surrounding onlookers immediately sucked in cold breaths. Xiao Yan and the Tianfu Alliance were names known throughout the continent. Xiao Yan was not only the champion of the pill gathering, but had also recently defeated the Hall of Souls chief by himself. Hearing the whispers around them, the guards finally became frightened. Xiao Yan could not be bothered to argue with them. After tossing over the jade token, he and Yao Lao were led by one of the guards onto a giant flying beast and taken to a broad square inside the Yao Clan's realm. Looking at the familiar buildings around him, Yao Lao became momentarily dazed. Xiao Yan did not disturb him. He simply stood quietly at his side, ignoring the strange gazes from the people around them. At that moment, a group of people dressed in Yao Clan robes walked directly toward them. The person leading them sneered and said that he had wondered who could be so ignorant of the rules, only to find that it was the two of them. Then he turned his mockery toward Yao Chen, saying he was surprised that someone who had been expelled from the clan still had the face to return. This man was Yao Wangui, the Yao Clan elder in charge of punishment, and the very person who had driven Yao Lao out of the clan without properly distinguishing right from wrong. Xiao Yan had met him before when the purifying demonic lotus flame appeared, and he had also heard from Yao Lao about the grudges of the past. Now that this old man had come looking for trouble on his own, Xiao Yan decided that today, he would teach him a lesson on behalf of his teacher. The attendants following Yao Wangui also began echoing his mockery. They insulted Yao Lao as a useless man who was already old and should have stayed outside instead of coming back to humiliate himself. As these people spoke without restraint, the guests from other factions who had come to attend the ceremony shook their heads helplessly at the Yao clan's arrogance and narrow-mindedness. Had this clan not heard the news from the outside world? Xiao Yan was now the leader of the Tianfu Alliance, a power strong enough to stand on equal footing with the Yao clan. Even setting that aside, Xiao Yan's strength alone, which had allowed him to defeat the Hall of Souls chief, was not something these old men could contend with. Yao Wangui was simply asking for trouble. At the same time, Xiao Yan turned to Yao Lao and smiled. He told his teacher to leave everything to him. When the time came, Yao Lao only needed to carve his parents' names onto the ancestral monument. Yao Wangui immediately shouted that those were arrogant words. In his view, an abandoned son of the clan had no qualification to leave words on the Yao clan's ancestral monument. He told Yao Chen not to indulge in foolish dreams. Seeing signs of anger on Yao Wangui's face, the attendants hurriedly flattered him, saying the elder was right. They continued mocking Yao Chen, saying that an outcast of the clan was not worthy. But before their words had fully faded, one attendant standing near Yao Wangui was suddenly grabbed by Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan seized his head and slammed him into the ground upside down. Yao Wangui shouted that Xiao Yan was too bold, reminding him that this was the Yao clan. Before he could finish speaking, another person who had spoken viciously was beaten by Xiao Yan until he spat blood and flew backward. Seeing the miserable state of those two, the people around Yao Wangui hurriedly tried to move closer to him. But before they could take even a step, Xiao Yan struck with lightning speed, slapping each of them away one after another. Yao Wangui's eyes turned red. Xiao Yan was not merely dealing with these small followers. He was slapping Yao Wangui's face in front of countless people. After roaming the continent for so many years, Yao Wangui had never suffered such humiliation. In his rage, he immediately used his authority as the elder in charge of punishment and summoned the Yao clan's iron guards to capture Xiao Yan. But before those guards could approach, they were all blasted away by the terrifying heat wave released from Xiao Yan's body. Seeing this, Yao Wangui's pupils suddenly shrank, and disbelief filled his face. Back when he had seen Xiao Yan at the place where the purifying demonic lotus flame appeared, Xiao Yan had only been a 2-star Dou Sheng. How could his strength have grown so quickly in just a few short years? Although shocked, Yao Wangui was still one of the stronger figures within the Yao clan. He immediately released the full force of his mid-stage 4-star Dou Sheng aura. Xiao Yan only shook his head mockingly. In the next instant, an aura more than 10 times more terrifying than Yao Wangui's erupted from his body. Xiao Yan said that he had already told him back then that his life belonged to him. At that moment, Xiao Yan's late-stage 5-star Dou Sheng strength surged out without reservation. The surrounding onlookers were stunned. Even within an ancient clan like the Yao clan, this level of strength was enough to be considered top tier. The most interesting expression belonged to Yao Wangui. His face had become extremely ugly, because if they truly fought, he would probably be defeated by Xiao Yan in fewer than 10 exchanges. The powerful aura erupting from Xiao Yan's side also attracted several Yao clan elders. Yao Wangui immediately twisted the situation, accusing Xiao Yan of recklessly attacking and injuring members of the Yao clan. He demanded that the elders join forces to capture him. Facing the serious formation of the Yao clan members, Xiao Yan did not bother explaining. Instead, he stared coldly at Yao Wangui and said that words should not be spoken carelessly. Yao Wangui asked what Xiao Yan wanted. Xiao Yan answered that he wanted him to apologize to his teacher. Yao Wangui laughed coldly. With his status, He believed himself to be far above Yao Chen. Asking him to apologize in front of so many people was simply delusional. At this moment, one Yao Clan elder said that since Xiao Yan had already injured people, his anger should be considered vented. Why not each side take a step back? Xiao Yan slowly shook his head. These Yao Clan people were all arrogant and overbearing. Since reasoning with them did not work, then he would speak with his fists. Seeing that Xiao Yan intended to fight, the Yao Clan elders were about to move. But the fire spirit Xiao Yi surged out from Xiao Yan's body. When the elders saw that Xiao Yan possessed the purifying demonic lotus flame, they immediately retreated at great speed. At the same time, Xiao Yan thrust a finger fiercely toward Yao Wangui. Just then, an old man with a head full of red hair rushed over, shouting for Xiao Yan to stop. This man was Yao Wanhua, an elder with considerable status in the Yao clan. His strength had reached the terrifying level of a 5-star Dou Sheng. However, before he could reach them, Yao Wangui, who was trying to block Xiao Yan's attack, had his palm pierced through by Xiao Yan's finger. The force sent him tumbling dozens of meters away. Immediately after, Xiao Yan moved and appeared in front of him, locking one hand around his throat. By then, Yao Wanhua had already arrived. Seeing that Xiao Yan had ignored even his command, anger burned within him, and he struck at Xiao Yan with a palm. Xiao Yan did not back down. He met the attack with one palm of his own. Both of them were forced to retreat several steps before stabilizing themselves. As for Yao Wangui, he remained firmly held in Xiao Yan's grasp. Seeing the Yao clan elder who had been so imposing earlier now screaming miserably like a loach in Xiao Yan's hand, the surrounding onlookers were completely stunned. Xiao Yan was far too fierce. Even with so many Yao clan elders trying to stop him, he had still succeeded. Was this man even human? Yao Wanhua angrily rebuked Xiao Yan, reminding him that this was the Yao clan and telling him not to go too far. Xiao Yan replied that he had not come to the Yao clan to cause trouble. But if someone bullied him and his teacher, he would not let the matter go. As soon as he finished speaking, fire spirit Xiao Yi slowly landed on his shoulder. At the same time, Xiao Yan summoned the North King puppet, whose strength was comparable to a 6-star Dou Sheng. Seeing the lineup beside Xiao Yan, even Yao Wanhua could not help trembling. If a fight truly broke out, putting aside whether he could defeat Xiao Yan himself, the puppet and the purifying demonic lotus flame alone would be enough to give the Yao clan a serious headache. Because of this, Yao Wanhua immediately softened his tone. He admitted that the Yao clan had indeed been at fault in this matter. If they had offended Xiao Yan in any way, he asked Xiao Yan to spare Yao Wangui this once, considering that today was the great day of the Yao clan ceremony. Although the other Yao clan elders could not understand why he had suddenly backed down, Yao Wanhua's status in the clan was second only to the clan chief, so they did not dare say anything. Yao Lao also understood that they could not truly kill Yao Wangui. If they did, the Yao clan would certainly not stand aside and do nothing. Under Yao Lao's signal, Xiao Yan immediately threw the terrified Yao Wangui away like a dead dog. Seeing this, Yao Wanhua finally breathed a slight sigh of relief. Then he looked at Yao Lao with a complicated expression. He had not expected that the man the Yao clan had once treated as a dispensable pawn would not only step into the Dou Sheng level himself, but also teach a disciple who had become the #1 figure among the younger generation of the continent. If the clan had shown Yao Chen even a little more care back then, perhaps the relationship between the Tianfu Alliance and the Yao clan would be excellent today. Unfortunately, it was too late for regrets. Xiao Yan still warned Yao Wanhua. He said that he and his teacher had come representing the Tianfu Alliance. He hoped that those elders who believed their status to be superior would restrain their arrogance. Although the Tianfu Alliance had not been established for long, it was not something others could casually criticize or order around. Compared with Yao Wangui, Yao Wanhua had much better bearing. He repeatedly stated that this matter had been Yao Wangui's fault and that he would properly reprimand him afterward. As for the servants who had insulted Yao Lao earlier, Yao Wanhua said he would punish them for failing to treat guests with respect and banish them from Yao Mountain for 10 years. Then he asked Xiao Yan, the leader of the Tianfu Alliance, whether he and Yao Lao were satisfied with this punishment. Xiao Yan said that he admired Elder Wanhua's fairness. Although he said this, Xiao Yan knew very well that those small servants were only being used as an outlet for anger. Still, Yao Wanhua had given them a way to step down from the confrontation, so Xiao Yan could not continue pressing the matter too far. Yao Wanhua then said that it was getting late. If they intended to observe the Yao Clan ceremony, they should follow him to the mountaintop. He mentioned that Xiao Yan had once won the pill gathering championship, so his attainments in alchemy must be extremely high. However, the scale of the Yao Clan ceremony was even greater than the pill gathering. Every ceremony gathered the most elite alchemists of the Dou Qi Continent. If Xiao Yan could stand out in this event, then the title of the continent's #1 alchemist might have to change hands. There was a faint pride in Yao Wanhua's words. In terms of Dou Qi strength, he had to treat Xiao Yan as an equal. But when it came to alchemy, he did not believe he would lose to this pill-gathering champion. After all, the Yao Clan had built its reputation on alchemy. Xiao Yan smiled casually and said that his alchemy had all been taught by his teacher. Still, he was also curious about the top alchemy grandmasters of the Dou Qi Continent. If there was a chance to exchange skills, he would gladly welcome it. Yao Wanhua laughed and said there would certainly be such a chance. As long as one had the strength, anyone could participate in the ceremony. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's lips curved slightly. It seemed this old fellow wanted to regain some face through alchemy. Unfortunately, that might not be so easy. Afterward, Xiao Yan and Yao Lao followed Yao Wanhua to a square at the top of Yao Mountain. There were already many figures standing throughout the area. Xiao Yan and Yao Lao were about to find any random place to sit when Yao Wanhua treated them as honored guests and led them to a higher-level VIP seat. When the two sat down, the other Yao Clan elders looked somewhat uncomfortable. In terms of seniority, they were above Yao Lao. If Yao Chen were still in the Yao Clan, he would have had to respectfully bow to them. But reality now made them understand that if anyone had to bow, it might be them. After all, Xiao Yan's status as leader of the Tianfu Alliance was already enough to be compared with the Yao Clan chief. Yao Lao glanced at the stone platform below, then turned to Xiao Yan and said that the early part of the ceremony was nothing special. It was mainly just an opportunity for the younger generation of the Yao Clan to show their skills. The true highlight of the ceremony would come at the end. If Xiao Yan could win the final competition, then the title of the #1 alchemist on the Dou Qi Continent would belong to him. Xiao Yan smiled faintly. He did not care much for such an empty title. The Yao Clan was arrogant and overbearing, and Xiao Yan simply wanted to use the alchemy skills his teacher had taught him to show them that, because of their foolish actions back then, the Yao Clan had lost a true genius. After all, everything Xiao Yan knew about alchemy had been personally taught to him by Yao Lao. And if Xiao Yan could win the championship this time, it would also bring great honor to Yao Lao as his teacher. When that happened, no one would dare stop Yao Lao from carving his parents' names onto the ancestral monument. Xiao Yan showed no fear at all. Seeing this, Yao Lao's face filled with comfort and pride. To have taken in a disciple like this, heaven truly had not treated him poorly. While the two of them were speaking, a white-haired old man in white robes slowly stepped out from a spatial crack. The members of the Yao Clan around him immediately dropped to their knees in greeting. This man was none other than the clan leader of the Yao Clan, Yao Dan. His own strength had reached the terrifying level of a 7-star Dou Sheng. Yao Lao looked at the white-haired old man with a slightly complicated gaze. No matter what had happened in the past, the blood of the Yao Clan still flowed within him. Seeing the clan leader again stirred something indescribable in his heart. Yao Lao respectfully cupped his hands toward Yao Dan. "Greetings, clan leader Yao Dan." Yao Dan nodded lightly. "You have come. Good. Back then, all of us misjudged you." Just as Yao Dan took his seat, another ancient voice slowly sounded. "Old Yao Dan, this time, you finally decided to come out of seclusion? You old thing, you're actually still alive?" An elderly man in hemp robes, leaning on a walking stick, was riding atop a dark green medicinal cauldron as he flew toward them. "Elder Shenong," someone exclaimed. "I never expected even this senior to appear." Xiao Yan's expression also became serious. Although Elder Shenong's name might not sound especially famous, he was an extremely ancient senior in the world of alchemy. Even Yao Lao, when compared to him, could only address him as an elder. The thought of competing in alchemy against someone of this level made Xiao Yan's blood heat with excitement. Ever since the pill gathering years ago, where he had freely competed against others, it had been a long time since he had faced such a stage to measure his alchemy skills. When Elder Shenong saw Xiao Yan, surprise flashed across his face. I have not left seclusion for many years. I did not expect Central Plains to have produced such a young talent. So young, yet his soul strength has already reached the great perfection of the heavenly state. Truly astonishing. Greetings, Elder Shenong, Xiao Yan said. Elder Shenong was just about to reply when black clouds suddenly surged above the mountain peak. A middle-aged man dressed in black instantly appeared on the stone platform. I, Hun Qianmo of the Hun Clan, have come uninvited. I hope clan leader Yao Dan will not take offense. The moment Yao Lao heard that name, his body shook violently. A cold light surged in his eyes. Xiao Yan was slightly startled by Yao Lao's reaction. According to Yao Lao, this man was the Hun Clan member who had once hidden within the small pill tower, betrayed them, injured Yao Lao's teacher, and then fled. As the Hun Clan's chief alchemist, his alchemy skills were unfathomable, and his status was far above that of Hun Miesheng. Xiao Yan had not expected that this Yao Clan Pharmacapia would even attract someone like him. His eyes narrowed slightly. Toward the Hun Clan, Xiao Yan had long since wanted to wipe them out. If the chance came, he would not mind testing whether he could cut off one of the Hun Clan's right-hand men here. Xiao Yan and Yao Lao had been waiting in the Yao Clan for the Pharmacapia to begin, but they had not expected Hun Qianmo, the Hun Clan's chief alchemist, to arrive without invitation. The moment he appeared, many elders of the Yao Clan angrily shouted for him to leave at once. After all, the Hun Clan had become infamous across Central Plains for wantonly capturing the souls of alchemists. On top of that, the strange disappearance of the Ling clan had happened recently. Now that Hun Qianmo had appeared within the Yao Clan, how could people not become suspicious? Hun Qianmo, however, only wore an arrogant expression. It is precisely because I am not afraid of suspicion that I openly showed myself. Besides, I do have some interest in the title of the continent's #1 alchemist. If you are willing to hand that title to me now, I can leave immediately. Just as the other elders were about to drive him out of the Yao Clan, Yao Dan, as clan leader, smiled faintly. If Hun Qianmo is interested, then he may stay and participate in the Pharmacapia. The Yao Clan is not a clan that mistreats guests. If we drive him out in front of so many people, outsiders may say that the Yao Clan is overbearing and unreasonable. Then his tone turned cold. However, if Hun Qianmo dares to cause trouble during the Pharmacapia, I will personally strike him down on the spot. Although the other elders still disagreed, seeing Yao Dan insist, they could only nod helplessly. A sly look flashed through Hun Qianmo's eyes. Clan leader Yao Dan is indeed magnanimous. With a movement of his body, he appeared on a stone seat not far from Xiao Yan and Yao Lao. Yao Chen, you have taken in quite a good disciple. Even though I have been in the Hun realm, your disciple's reputation has still reached my ears like thunder. A reputation that reaches like thunder? Yao Lao replied with mockery. Who could compare to Hun Qianmo, the man who deceived his master and betrayed his ancestors? Hun Qianmo shook his head slightly. I was born a member of the Hun Clan, so betraying my ancestors has nothing to do with me. As for deceiving my master, I never acknowledged the founder of the Pill Tower as my teacher. He then looked at Yao Chen with a cold smile. In fact, you should be thanking me. Back then, it was because I valued your strength and wanted you to serve the Hun Clan that you were spared. Otherwise, you would have long since been reduced to ashes. How could Xiao Yan have had the chance to rescue you? He paused, then continued. But it does not matter. If someone escapes, we can simply capture him again. When that time comes, the Tianfu Alliance and all the rest will naturally understand just how naive they are. Yao Lao's expression instantly darkened. Xiao Yan, however, had no intention of tolerating Hun Qianmo's foul attitude. He directly controlled the North King, who possessed the strength of a 6-star Dou Sheng, and sent it smashing toward Hun Qianmo's position. The sudden attack startled Hun Qianmo. Clearly, he had not expected this young man to dare strike in public. But Hun Qianmo was no weakling. With a flash, he instantly appeared on another stone seat nearby. The seat he had just occupied was smashed into powder by the North King's punch. Those who speak rudely should stay farther away from me, Xiao Yan said calmly. Heh! What a Xiao Yan! Just as Hun Shuzi was about to retaliate, Yao Dan stopped him. Hun Shuzi, today is the Yao Clan's Pharmacapia. Fighting is forbidden. Anyone who violates this rule will be expelled from the Yao Clan. Humph! Since clan leader Yao Dan has spoken, I naturally must obey. Although he said this, Hun Shuzi was already burning with rage. When Xiao Yan attacked just now, this old fellow had not come forward to stop him. But now that it was his turn to strike back, Yao Dan immediately stepped in. Was this not clearly meant to embarrass him before everyone? Still, it did not matter. Before long, the Yao clan would regret it. At that moment, Yao Dan's voice slowly rang out across the entire Yao clan. The time has come. Let the Pharmacapia begin. The opening stage of the Pharmacapia was the test for the younger generation. To Xiao Yan and the others, this was no different from children fighting. Alchemists were ranked from Tier 1 to Tier 9. Among 9th tier alchemists, there were further divisions. Treasure Pill Grandmaster, Mysterious Pill Grandmaster, and Golden Pill Grandmaster. Ever since Xiao Yan refined a 9th tier treasure pill at the small pill tower, he had stood at the level of a Treasure Pill Grandmaster. Mysterious Pill Grandmasters were already among the peak existences of the continent, but they were extremely rare. As for Golden Pill Grandmasters, no one had reached that level for nearly 1,000 years. Above that was the legendary Emperor grade, which was almost unheard of. After several days of competition among the younger generation of the Yao clan, the contests finally came to an end. The person who had once delivered the Yao clan's invitation to Xiao Yan squeezed into the top 5. As for first place, it went to the Yao clan's genius youth, Yao Tian, who refined an 8th tier pill that attracted 9-colored pill lightning. This result made many Yao clan elders smile with satisfaction, but they knew very well that compared to Xiao Yan, there was still quite a gap. After all, Xiao Yan had once refined a 9th tier treasure pill that attracted black demonic lightning. Finally, the true main event was about to begin. According to Yao Lao, aside from Xiao Yan, Hun Shuzi, Elder Shenong, and Elder Wanhua would be the final participants of this grand gathering. As for the Yao clan leader Yao Dan, he would not participate. As the leader of a clan, he naturally had his own pride. However, in Yao Lao's opinion, Yao Dan's alchemy skills were not inferior to any of those 4. While Xiao Yan and Yao Lao were speaking quietly, Yao Dan, seated in the highest position, slowly stood up and spoke in a clear voice. Now that the appetizer is over, it is time for the main course. This Pharmacapia will have 4 people competing. Even if this old man does not name them, everyone here should know who they are. The final victor will claim the title of the continent's #1 alchemist. 4 competitors, please enter the arena. The moment Yao Dan finished speaking, Hun Shuzi's figure was the first to appear in the air above the arena. Clan leader Yao Dan is quite straightforward. The Pharmacapia is the highest gathering of alchemists on the Dou Qi Continent. Since I have come today, I would like to ask everyone here for guidance. The Hun Clan has some interest in the title of the continent's #1 alchemist, so I intend to take it back with me. As soon as Hun Shuzi said this, Yao Wanhua appeared in the square with a flash. Humph! The Yao Clan is a clan of alchemists. This title would be better left with the Yao Clan. Yao Wanhua's appearance immediately drew waves of cheers from the surrounding crowd. After all, this was the Yao Clan's home ground. Naturally, the people here did not want to see someone from the Hun Clan take away such a glorious title. At the same time, Elder Shenong slowly entered the field with his walking stick. Although he did not care much for empty fame, allowing the title of the continent's #1 alchemist to fall into the hands of the Hun Clan would be a great disgrace to the entire alchemy world. After the 3 of them entered, Xiao Yan moved and appeared before Hun Shuzi under countless gazes. I have long heard that Elder Hun Shuzi once stole skills from the Pill Tower. The Pill Tower is now a member of the Tianfu Alliance. As someone from Tianfu, Xiao Yan would like to seek guidance from Elder Hun Shuzi on behalf of the Pill Tower. What a sharp tongue, Hun Shuzi sneered. You want guidance from me? Even your teacher Yao Chen does not have that qualification. Humph. Teacher said that I should be enough to deal with you. There is no need for him to personally act. Humph. In that case, I am truly curious. As soon as he finished speaking, black flames surged violently from Hun Shuzi's body. The flames gathered in the sky and formed a huge black fire cauldron over 100 zhang tall. Seeing this, the expressions of Xiao Yan, Elder Wanhua, and Elder Shenong changed. That flame was clearly the void-devouring flame, which possessed the power of devouring. With the Yao Clan Pharmacapia officially beginning, Xiao Yan, Yao Wanhua, Elder Shenong, and Hun Shuzi entered the arena one after another. Hun Shuzi was the first to summon the void-devouring flame within him. "Summon the heavenly flames within your bodies," Hun Shuzi said. "My void-devouring flame is very eager for their taste." Xiao Yan merely laughed softly. Although the void-devouring flame within Hun Shuzi gave him a far stronger feeling than the flame used by the Hall of Souls chief, it had not reached the truly terrifying level of devouring everything. Clearly, the flame in Hun Shuzi's hand was only a subsidiary flame. What Xiao Yan did not know was that the flame in Hun Shuzi's possession was one of the two great heavenly flames split from the void-devouring flame itself. Its power was far above that of the flame used by the Hall of Souls chief. This secret was extremely well hidden. Even Yao Lao and Xiao Yan had never heard of it. Not far away, Yao Wanhua saw Hun Shuzi acting so arrogant and snorted coldly. With a wave of his sleeve, a faint black flame roared out. "If you want to devour our heavenly flames, let us see whether you have the ability." This flame was the Nine Serene Wind Flame that Xiao Yan had seen when he met the Yao Clan envoy before. Judging from its current state, it seemed that the flame had later been taken back by Yao Wanhua. Seeing Elder Wanhua summon his heavenly flame, Elder Shenong laughed softly. "Old Wanhua, your control over the Nine Serene Wind Flame has grown increasingly refined. Since that is the case, this old man should also show something." The moment his voice fell, a green flame slowly rose. As the sea of flames spread, some unusual medicinal ingredients around them began growing visibly to the naked eye. Surprise flashed through Xiao Yan's eyes. This was the life flame, ranked 5th on the heavenly flame ranking. The life flame was ranked so highly not because of its destructive power, but because as long as the seeds of medicinal ingredients were placed within it, they would rapidly sprout and mature. In other words, with this heavenly flame, as long as one had enough seeds, one could continuously obtain the medicinal ingredients one needed. The life flame was also known as the flame of longevity. Those who obtained it would have a lifespan that could rival even that of magical beasts. Greed filled Hun Shuzi's eyes. A heavenly flame capable of extending one's life was naturally very attractive to him. Yao Wanhua also looked envious. "It is actually the life flame. Old Shenong, your fortune is not shallow. Ha ha ha, it was merely luck. I happened upon it by chance while searching for medicinal ingredients." After saying this, Elder Shenong looked toward Xiao Yan and smiled. "I heard that young friend Xiao Yan once subdued the legendary purifying lotus demon flame. I wonder if this is true." Like Elder, it was only luck. Xiao Yan then summoned the flame spirit Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi glanced at the other 3 heavenly flames in the sky with a hint of disdain. After all, the only one here that could appear in the form of a true flame spirit was him. When everyone sensed the intelligence within Xiao Yi, an intelligence no weaker than that of a human, their expressions filled with shock. They naturally understood what a flame spirit meant to an alchemist. The legendary body of a heavenly flame would allow the flame to reach its most perfect state in the hands of its owner. Hun Shuzi's eyes turned cold. The Hun Clan had plotted for the purifying lotus demon flame for so many years, yet in the end, it had fallen into the hands of this young man. Elder Shenong, meanwhile, looked regretful. "Back then, I also tried to subdue the purifying lotus demon flame, but I nearly became trapped in the demon flame space. I never expected such a great fortune to be obtained by young friend Xiao Yan." Xiao Yan only smiled faintly. Having experienced the demon flame space himself, he naturally understood how difficult it had been to subdue the purifying lotus demon flame. If he had not possessed the remnant image of the purifying lotus demon saint back then, he would likely have ended up the same way as Elder Shenong. At that moment, Yao Dan, seated at the head, withdrew his gaze from Xiao Yan and spoke loudly. "Very well. If the 4 of you are prepared, open your cauldrons and begin refining." Hearing this, The four of them used their respective heavenly flames to form flame cauldrons and prepared to refine pills. Among the four, the greatest spectacle came from Elder Shenong. Countless seeds that he tossed into the green flame transformed into mature medicinal ingredients in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, Xiao Yan could not help but praise it. As expected of the life flame. This is simply a heavenly flame that countless alchemists dream of. Although using this method to force medicinal ingredients to grow would certainly consume a great deal of the user's energy, many precious ingredients required at least 100 years to mature. Compared with such a long stretch of time, this consumption was clearly nothing. After silently praising it, Xiao Yan flicked his finger. Thousands of medicinal ingredients flashed out from his storage ring. He then controlled Xiao Yi, having him swallow them all into the flame cauldron and begin refining them. This operation stunned some of the Yao Clan elders on the spot. Just how terrifying was this fellow's soul strength? He actually dared to refine so many medicinal ingredients at once. Many members of the Yao Clan's younger generation looked as though they had suffered a heavy blow. Even Yao Tian, who had achieved the best result earlier in the Pharmacapia, looked depressed. Beside Yao Tian was his younger sister, the proud daughter of the Yao Clan, Yao Ling. At this moment, Yao Ling was also filled with astonishment. Her soul had been extraordinary since birth, and Yao Dan had once said that if her opportunities were sufficient, she might one day step into the legendary Emperor State soul level. But compared to Xiao Yan now, she was still clearly a step behind. With Xiao Yi's help, most of Xiao Yan's medicinal ingredients were quickly refined. As for the other three, although their refining efficiency could not match Xiao Yan's, they were all Grand Master level figures. One after another, they also refined large quantities of medicinal ingredients. After a full day of refining, Xiao Yan was the first to open his eyes. However, just as he placed the refined medicinal liquid into the cauldron, Hun Qianmo also suddenly opened his eyes. His hand seals changed rapidly. Heaven and earth energy, heed my command. The energy of heaven and earth in the surrounding region immediately surged toward his flame cauldron from all directions. The Yao Clan elders, as well as Yao Dan himself, were shocked when they saw this. This method of gathering heaven and earth energy to refine a pill was used only when refining a 9th-tier mysterious pill. The commotion created by Hun Qianmo was naturally noticed by Xiao Yan and the other two. Yao Wanhua snorted coldly. Heaven and earth energy, gather. Seeing this, Elder Shenong laughed loudly. Since the two of you are making such grand moves, this old man cannot fall behind. As soon as his voice fell, a vast wave of heaven and earth energy was pulled into the flame cauldron before him. Xiao Yan smiled faintly. Since the three of you are in such good spirits, Xiao Yan can only accompany you. A terrifying suction force erupted from his flame cauldron, wildly seizing the energy between heaven and earth. Watching this scene, the many alchemists in the square were so shocked that they could not speak. All four of them were actually refining the legendary 9th-tier mysterious pill. Such a scene had not appeared on the Dou Qi Continent for 100 years. Looking at the four huge vortexes madly absorbing the surrounding energy, Yao Dan, seated at the head, slowly shook his head. The reason no one had refined a 9th-tier mysterious pill in nearly 100 years was not because everyone's alchemy skills were insufficient. It was because the amount of heaven and earth energy required was unimaginably vast. Although the spiritual energy around the Yao Mountain was extremely dense, it could not support all four of them drawing from it at the same time. Sure enough, over the next 3 days of absorption, the spiritual energy around the Yao Mountain was completely drained by the four of them. Even some rare medicinal plants planted by the Yao Clan began to wither and turn yellow after having their energy seized. If the clan elders had not quickly set up seals, the entire Yao Mountain might have been turned into a barren wasteland. Even so, the pill embryos within the cauldrons of Xiao Yan and the other three were only half complete. If they could not continue drawing heaven and earth energy, failure was inevitable. Just as Xiao Yan, Elder Wanhua, and Elder Shenong were frowning, Hun Qianmo controlled the void-devouring flame and transformed it into 3 pillars of flame. These pillars began devouring the heaven and earth energy within the cauldrons of Xiao Yan and the other two. Although Elder Wanhua and Elder Shenong immediately summoned their heavenly flames to resist with all their might, one of their flames ranked too low, while the other was more suited for support than combat. As a result, the two of them could only watch as Hun Shuzi forcibly robbed their energy. Even their heavenly flames were devoured in part. But when the black flame landed on Xiao Yan's cauldron, Xiao Yi suddenly appeared and swallowed it instead. The devoured flame was transformed into strands of energy that merged into Xiao Yan's cauldron. No matter what, Hun Shuzi's void-devouring flame was only a subsidiary flame. Xiao Yi, however, was a mutated flame spirit formed from the purifying lotus demon flame fused with many other heavenly flames. Even if the true void-devouring flame descended, it might not necessarily gain much advantage over Xiao Yi. This sudden turn of events greatly surprised Hun Shuzi. However, since he could do nothing to Xiao Yan for the moment, he did not care too much. As the energy from Elder Wanhua's and Elder Shenong's cauldrons continued pouring into his own medicinal cauldron, Hun Shuzi's pill embryo began showing signs of taking shape. Just as he was secretly delighted, Xiao Yi suddenly flew above his cauldron under his stunned gaze. With an arrogant expression, Xiao Yi slapped the cauldron lid away. Before Hun Shuzi could react, Xiao Yi grabbed the pill embryo inside and rushed back to Xiao Yan's side in a flash. This smooth and shameless operation made the corners of several Yao Clan elders' mouths twitch. They all looked as though they wanted to laugh but were desperately holding it in. No one had expected Xiao Yan's flame spirit to be so outrageous. When Hun Shuzi finally reacted, his furious roar shook the entire sky. "Xiao Yan, today I will tear you into 10,000 pieces." As he spoke, he summoned a black fire dragon that shot violently toward Xiao Yan. However, Elder Shenong and Elder Wanhua joined forces to stop him. After all, Hun Shuzi had been the one to act dishonorably first. Now that Xiao Yan had stolen his pill embryo, it could be considered a breath of justice for the two of them as well. With the two elders restraining Hun Shuzi, Xiao Yan controlled Xiao Yi and quickly refined the pill embryo. Although different pills possessed different medicinal properties, making it impossible for ordinary alchemists to merge a stolen pill embryo into their own pill, the purifying lotus demon flame had the ability to purify all things. Under Xiao Yi's continuous refinement, Hun Shuzi's pill embryo was eventually severed from all connection to him and transformed into pure heaven and earth energy, which then merged into Xiao Yan's cauldron. Even so, Xiao Yan's pill still showed no sign of fully forming. Xiao Yan frowned slightly. It seems the heaven and earth energy needed for a 9th-tier mysterious pill is still not enough. Just as he was troubled by this, Elder Shenong threw the pill embryo in his own cauldron toward Xiao Yan. "Xiao Yan, this old man's pill embryo has already had its medicinal properties disrupted by Hun Shuzi. Today, I will give you this fortune. Whether you can refine the 9th-tier mysterious pill this old man has pursued all his life will depend on your own luck." "Many thanks, Elder Shenong." Seeing Elder Shenong act this way, Elder Wanhua also threw his pill embryo toward Xiao Yan. Sigh. This old man has not seen a 9th-tier mysterious pill appear for hundreds of years. This time, consider it a chance to broaden my own horizons. As Xiao Yan cupped his hands and thanked them, a trace of goodwill toward this member of the Yao clan appeared in his heart for the first time. As the energy from their two pill embryos gathered into Xiao Yan's cauldron, black pill lightning instantly covered the entire Yao mountain. The sight horrified many people. Such terrifying pill lightning was something they had never seen in their lives. When Xiao Yan opened the cauldron, the dense medicinal fragrance inside slowly gathered into beads of different sizes. They then fell from the sky in a dense shower. Seeing this miraculous scene, Yao Dan's voice trembled slightly. Could it be the sign of a mysterious pill being born? Even with Xiao Yan's composure, he could not help revealing wild joy. It had actually succeeded. With his current ability, the chance of successfully refining a 9th-tier mysterious pill was no more than 40%. This success was largely thanks to the pill embryos of the other three. As Xiao Yan thought about this, a massive pillar of light suddenly erupted from the cauldron and shot straight into the sky. Within the pillar of light, one could vaguely see a glowing mass that resembled an unborn egg. That was the 9th-tier mysterious pill. At the same time, the terrifying thunder in the sky came crashing down violently upon the pillar of light. Xiao Yan watched nervously, but he understood that only after enduring this lightning tribulation could the 9th-tier mysterious pill perfectly break free from its shell and be born. No outsider could interfere in this process. Even Xiao Yan could only stand by and watch. After the terrifying bombardment continued for dozens of minutes, the pillar of light finally exploded under countless shocked gazes. A streak of light suddenly shot out from within it. Seeing that the 9th-tier mysterious pill was trying to flee, people all over the mountain became restless. But before they could act, Xiao Yan gave a cold snort and forcefully suppressed the greed in their hearts. After all, opposing this ruthless star would not lead to any good outcome. When Xiao Yan caught up with the streak of light, a trembling, naked, beautiful figure appeared before his eyes. To know how to use such a method to bewitch people right after being born, a 9th-tier mysterious pill truly lives up to its reputation. As he spoke, he pointed at the woman's forehead. In an instant, she transformed back into a round medicinal pill. After storing it in his ring, Xiao Yan slowly returned to stand before Hun Qianmo and the other two. He cupped his hands and smiled. Many thanks to the three of you for your generous gifts. Hun Qianmo's mouth twitched the moment he heard those words. He had spent days painstakingly refining that embryonic pill, only for all his effort to end up benefiting Xiao Yan. Elder Shenong and Elder Wanhua merely smiled faintly. Every generation produces its own talents. Young friend Xiao Yan's accomplishments in alchemy are truly breathtaking. In the alchemy world, I'm afraid there is no one left who can compare with you. When the many elders of the Yao clan heard this, their expressions became complicated. After all, Yao Lao had now taught the #1 alchemist on the continent. Had they known this would happen, they never would have allowed Yao Wangue to act recklessly back then. But things had already reached this point. No matter what they said now, it was too late. Xiao Yan looked at Yao Lao, then turned toward Yao Dan, who sat in the seat of honor. He cupped his hands and said, "Clan leader Yao Dan, today Xiao Yan has one more request." The old man sighed softly. "I know what you wish to say. As for Yao Chen's matter today, perhaps back then, he truly was the most outstanding genius the clan tried to suppress. The clan monument shall be left to you. Many thanks, clan leader Yao Dan." Even with Yao Lao's composure, his entire body could not help trembling at this moment. The lifelong wish of engraving his parents' names upon the clan monument had finally been fulfilled today. But just as Xiao Yan was feeling happy for him, Hun Qianmo, not far away, wore a strange expression and slowly walked up to Yao Dan. With an odd look on his face, Hun Qianmo said, "Clan leader Yao Dan, I also have a request today." Let us hear it. I would like to temporarily borrow the Yao clan's Tuasha ancient emperor jade. The moment these words were spoken, killing intent surged in the eyes of every Yao clan elder, as well as in Yao Dan's gaze. The elders from other sects who had come to attend the ceremony looked at Hun Qianmo as though they were looking at a madman. Everyone knew that the secret contained within the Tuasha ancient emperor jade was of tremendous importance. Every one of the ancient 8 clans guarded its jade as a supreme treasure. What normal person would openly ask for such a thing in front of a clan leader? Just how much fake wine had Hun Qianmo drunk today? But in Xiao Yan's eyes, this matter did not seem so simple. Hun Qianmo was not a fool. He should have known what kind of treatment he would receive from the Yao clan after saying something like that. With only the strength of a 6-star Dou Sheng, he could not defeat Yao Dan, who was a 7-star Dou Sheng. Yet Hun Qianmo still acted completely fearless. Could it be that he had some hidden trump card? The instant this thought appeared, Xiao Yan moved in front of Yao Lao and prepared himself to fight at any moment. At the same time, Yao Dan, seated in the highest position, stared coldly at Hun Qianmo. "Hun Qianmo, do you know what you are saying?" Hun Qianmo merely smiled faintly, completely ignoring the killing intent in Yao Dan's voice. He said, "The Tuasha ancient emperor jade is an ominous object. If it remains in the Yao clan, it will only bring disaster. If you hand it to me, perhaps you can exchange it for peace." Hearing this, Elder Wanhua, who had long been holding back his anger, could no longer sit still. "Hun Qianmo, you are far too reckless. Today, I will seize you first and have the Hun clan leader come here to claim you." As soon as he finished speaking, he used his 9 serene wind flame to condense a giant flaming palm and sent it crashing fiercely toward Hun Qianmo. However, not only was the giant flame palm completely swallowed by the nihility-devouring flame that Hun Qianmo summoned, but Yao Wanhua himself was also struck by Hun Qianmo's palm. He spat out blood and was sent flying backward. Heh! I have played with you all for long enough. Consider this a little interest collected in advance. At this moment, Hun Shuzi no longer held back. The aura of a 7-star Dou Sheng surged violently from his body. Seeing this, Yao Lao and the elders of the Yao clan were filled with disbelief. None of them had expected this old man to be so scheming, or that he had been hiding his true strength all along. Even Yao Dan's expression turned completely dark. Send a signal to the Yan clan and the Lei clan. Tell them we have found the mastermind behind the disappearance of the Ling clan and the Shi clan. The moment he said this, everyone's expression changed. Even Xiao Yan's body trembled violently. None of them had expected that the disappearance of the Shi clan and the Ling clan had truly been the work of the Hun clan. But when the trembling Yao clan elders opened their spatial scrolls, the spatial channels that were about to form seemed to be disturbed by something and quickly dissipated. What they did not know was that Hun Shuzi had brought the true nihility devouring flame with him on this trip. While he was attending the ceremony, the nihility devouring flame had already begun acting in secret, completely sealing off the entire Yao clan space. This was why, when Xiao Yan had earlier seized the embryonic pill, Hun Shuzi had not revealed his true strength. At that time, the seal had not yet been completed, so he had to wait for the right moment. But now, he no longer had any such concerns. Yao Dan, unaware of the truth, still tried to crush the ring he had once used to communicate with the Lei clan and Yan clan, intending to tell them about this shocking change. But naturally, it was useless. Only then did Yao Dan realize the severity of the situation. He angrily shouted at Hun Shuzi, "The Yao clan has already established spatial channels with the Yan clan and Lei clan. If they discover something has happened here and the news spreads, the three clans will surely join forces with the Gu clan and wipe out the Hun clan. My Hun clan was able to take the Ling clan and Shi clan without the Gu clan noticing. Naturally, we can also make your Yao clan quietly vanish from this world." Just with you. As Yao Dan spoke, the terrifying aura of a 7-star Dou Sheng also erupted from him without reservation. That powerful pressure was even slightly stronger than Hun Shuzi's. Just as the two were about to clash, the elders from other sects who had come to observe the ceremony were completely terrified. The fate of the Shi clan and Ling clan, whose entire people had been destroyed, made them understand that if they were dragged into this, they would certainly die. Thus, they immediately pleaded with Hun Shuzi, saying that they were not members of the Yao clan and begging him to spare them. Of course. Those who are not of the Yao clan may leave. I will not stop you. Many thanks, senior. But just as those people arrived at the exit of the Yao clan space in great joy, a cloud of black smoke swallowed them all in one gulp. Instantly, miserable screams echoed across the sky. At the same time, endless black flames seeped out from the void and finally covered the entire Yao clan. Looking at the sky that had turned completely dark, Xiao Yan's pupils suddenly shrank. The powerful aura of those black flames was unmistakably the true nihility devouring flame. Xiao Yi, within Xiao Yan's body, abruptly opened her eyes as well. Her expression became grave. Even she sensed an intense danger. Hun Shuzi hovered in the sky and smiled strangely at Yao Dan. Yao Dan, I am honored to announce to you that the Yao clan is finished. As strands of black flame fell from the sky and landed on the bodies of the crowd, they were horrified to discover that this thing was continuously devouring their Dou Qi. No matter how desperately they resisted, a large amount of their Dou Qi still flowed away without stopping. As for Xiao Yan and Yao Lao, they barely managed to resist by relying on a fire barrier condensed by the fire spirit Xiao Yi. Even so, their expressions were extremely grave. No one had expected that what had originally been a lively Yao clan ceremony would be turned into such a disaster by the Hun clan. Only now did Xiao Yan understand. No wonder the Hun clan had never stepped forward to target him or the Heavenly Mansion Alliance, even after he had beaten the Hall of Souls into such a miserable state. It turned out that they had long been planning to attack the Yao clan. And judging by this formation, the other side clearly had no intention of leaving anyone alive. If they were careless, both master and disciple might fall here. What do we do now? We can only watch how things unfold for the moment. If the Hun clan truly attacks the Yao clan will definitely resist with everything it has. When the time comes, we will find an opportunity to escape. At this moment, Xiao Yan had no grand intention of saving the Yao clan. After all, they themselves were like clay Buddhas crossing a river, unable even to guarantee their own safety. How could they still have the leisure to worry about the Yao clan? As for whether the Yao clan could survive this calamity, that would depend on their own fate. Yao Lao silently nodded. Although he was a member of the Yao clan, his feelings toward the clan were far too faint. Now that the Yao clan was facing disaster, he naturally felt uncomfortable, but he would not ask Xiao Yan to risk himself to save them because of that. In Yao Lao's heart, Xiao Yan's position was far more important than this unfamiliar and cold clan. At the same time, Yao Dan stared darkly at the nihility devouring flame that was constantly devouring the Dou Qi of his clansmen. Then he raised his head and shouted loudly. All members of the Yao clan, heed my command. Activate the Heavenly Yao Transformation Formation. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's expression grew solemn. This counterattack was indeed powerful, but based on Xiao Yan's guess, the true body of the nihility devouring flame had likely reached the level of an 8-star or even 9-star Dou Sheng. Otherwise, it would not have been able to destroy the Yao clan's protective formation and that remnant soul of the Yao Emperor. The result was exactly as Xiao Yan had guessed. The full-strength attacks gathered by the Yao clan's experts were all swallowed by a black hole vortex summoned by the nihility devouring flame. However, under the immense force of the impact, its figure was also forced back several steps before it finally steadied itself. Not bad, Yao clan. Compared with the Ling clan and Shi clan, you are indeed much stronger. Unfortunately, that still cannot change your final ending. After speaking, the nihility devouring flame summoned black flame creatures that resembled humans. They descended densely from the sky. Seeing this, some members of the Yao clan had just begun to circulate their Dou Qi to defend themselves when their chests were instantly pierced through by the creatures, killing them on the spot. In an instant, fierce battle erupted across the entire mountain range, and miserable screams rang out without end. After Xiao Yan casually defeated one of the black flame creatures and examined it, he sucked in a breath of cold air. These strange creatures could actually devour human flesh, blood, and even Dou Qi. Yao Dan, not far away, also noticed this. His pupils suddenly contracted. What? The spirit-devouring clan? How can such a race still exist? Weren't they completely wiped out in ancient times? Hun Shuzi only smiled faintly. As expected of the Yao clan leader. You should understand now why my Hun clan has attacked you. No wonder, after ancient times, so many races gradually declined, yet only your Hun clan continued to exist. Xiao Yan and Yao Lao both looked confused when they heard this. Clearly, they knew nothing about this mysterious race. Because the situation was extremely urgent, Yao Dan did not explain the origins of this race in detail. After sensing this shocking change, he grabbed dozens of young members of the Yao clan and protected them in his hand. Then he roared in a voice filled with pain. Elders of the Yao clan, heed my command. Self-destruct and destroy the space. We may die, but we must leave behind seeds of bloodline for the Yao clan. Hearing this, the eyes of many Yao clan experts flashed with sorrow and determination. Then brilliant light suddenly erupted from within their bodies. Hun Shuzi's expression changed sharply. With so many experts self-destructing, even though this space had been sealed, they might still blast open a few cracks. At this moment, the nihility devouring flame had already transformed into countless spirit devourers and could not spare any effort. Thus, Hun Shuzi immediately took out a black scroll and tore it apart. As a spatial channel appeared, a large number of Hun clan experts flashed out instantly. At the front, 2 old men stood suspended in the air. Seeing them, Yao Dan's heart turned half cold. Those 2 were Hun Jing and Hun Yin, known as 2 of the Hun clan's 4 demon saints. Their strength had also reached the level of 7-star Dou Shengs. Yao Dan had never imagined that, in order to completely wipe out the Yao clan, the Hun clan would even send these 2 old monsters. After appearing, Hun Jing and Hun Yin said that the Yao clan's alchemy still had some use to the Hun clan. As long as Yao Dan agreed to make the Yao clan a subordinate race of the Hun clan from now on, the 2 of them would consider sparing some people and preserving a trace of the Yao clan. But at this moment, everyone in the Yao clan had already made up their minds to die together with the enemy. Not a single person had any thought of surviving in humiliation. Yao Dan declared that even if the Yao clan had to fight until its final drop of blood, it would battle the Hun clan to the end. Hun Jing was not surprised by Yao Dan's answer. He only smiled grimly. In that case, we can only kill you all. As soon as his voice fell, Hun clan experts charged forward violently. At that moment, a Yao clan elder self-destructed instantly, blasting the Hun clan experts at the front until they spat blood and retreated in panic. After the first Yao clan expert self-destructed, the remaining elders also blew themselves apart at certain points in the sky. In that space, which had originally been sealed tightly, tiny cracks slowly appeared. When Yao Dan saw this, joy surged in his eyes. But beneath that joy was endless sorrow. Only a day ago, the Yao clan had still been peaceful. Yet now, the threat of extermination hung over its head. As many Yao clan experts self-destructed without hesitation in a specific area, Hun Jing finally could no longer sit still. His figure flashed, and he viciously threw away the experts who were about to self-destruct. Not far away, Elder Wanhua, covered in blood, was about to step forward to stop him, but Hun Shuzi tightly entangled him. Watching that nearly tragic battle, Xiao Yan clenched his fists. So this was a war of extermination. Back then, the Xiao clan must have faced something like this too. In order to continue their bloodline, they had given everything. Even self-destruction had been something they did without regret. When Yao Dan saw that, even with his clansmen self-destructing, they were still at a disadvantage, his gaze swept across the battlefield. Then he came before Xiao Yan and Yao Lao, and entrusted to Xiao Yan the dozen or so young members of the Yao clan whom he had been protecting. Xiao Yan, the experts of my Yao clan are self-destructing only to tear open a spatial crack and win a chance for you and these children to escape. This old man has never begged anyone in his life, but this time, I beg you. Help the Yao clan preserve its final trace of bloodline. This sudden turn of events startled Xiao Yan. Looking at Yao Dan's blood-red eyes, Xiao Yan felt somewhat uncomfortable. Beside him, Yao Lao's eyes also grew moist. Among the younger generation of the Yao clan, Yao Tian, who ranked first, was crying tears of blood. He had personally witnessed his parents being crushed to death by Hun clan experts. Now, with grief beyond tears, he begged Yao Dan to let him stay. Today, he wanted to fight these Hun clan bastards to the death. But Yao Dan slapped him hard. Useless thing. What use is there in staying? Countless clansmen have sacrificed themselves through self-destruction to exchange for your chance to escape. Would you be worthy of them if you threw that chance away? Yao Tian bit his lips hard. Blood continuously flowed from the corner of his mouth. Beside him, Yao Ling and the others were also filled with tears. Only after experiencing today's disaster did they finally understand that the former versions of themselves had merely been flowers raised in a greenhouse under the protection of their clan. Listen to me. I order you to obey every word Xiao Yan says from now on. For the continuation of the Yao clan's bloodline, even if he tells you to die, you must do it. Xiao Yan sighed softly after hearing this. I will do my utmost. At the same time, Elder Shennong, who had flown over, also said that he would help with all his strength. After receiving their promises, Yao Dan looked at the younger generation of the Yao clan with deep reluctance. Then all the Dou Qi within his body began to burn, and he charged toward Hun Jing and Hun Yin. With Yao Dan holding them back, many Yao clan elders once again madly self-destructed at the same point in space. Under everyone's gaze, that area finally exploded open. Seeing this, Xiao Yan hurriedly wrapped Yao Tian, Yao Ling, and the dozen other figures in his heavenly flames. Then he, Yao Lao, and the others rushed toward the cracked space at full speed. Although some Hun clan experts and those strange spirit devourers immediately chased and blocked Xiao Yan's group, Elder Shennong's intervention allowed them to pass through danger without disaster. Seeing Xiao Yan and the others getting closer and closer to the spatial crack, Hun Shuzi, who was fighting Yao Wanhua, could no longer remain calm. He ordered the Nihility Devouring Flame to act immediately and capture Xiao Yan, because Xiao Yan possessed the Tuasha Ancient Emperor Jade that they had always wanted. But the Nihility Devouring Flame scolded him harshly. Do you think I have 3 heads and 6 arms? After all, it now had to divide its attention to maintain the spatial seal. It had also been injured by the remnant soul of the Yao Emperor during the previous battle. On top of that, it had transformed into countless spirit devourers. How could it possibly spare more strength? Seeing this, Hun Qianmo, who had been working with Hun Jing to deal with Yao Dan, moved. In an instant, he appeared in front of Xiao Yan and the others. Xiao Yan's expression sank slightly. Based on his estimation, Hun Yin's strength had likely reached at least the late stage of a 7-star Dou Sheng. With the strength of their group, defeating this person and escaping would not be easy. The instant Hun Qianmo appeared, Elder Shenong acted without saying a word. He condensed his heavenly flame into a giant flaming beast and slammed it fiercely toward Hun Qianmo. But this attack was shattered by Hun Qianmo with a single slap. His momentum did not decrease as he reached out to grab Xiao Yan and the others. Fortunately, Xiao Yan and the others immediately pushed their speed to the limit and narrowly dodged. Even so, Xiao Yan's expression remained grave. Hun Qianmo was standing directly in front of the shattered seal. In other words, if they wanted to escape, they had to deal with him first. Xiao Yan immediately controlled the Northern King, which possessed the strength of a 6-star Dou Sheng, and sent it into close combat against Hun Qianmo. Although the Northern King's body was extremely tough, Hun Yin's attacks still left dents in it. While the Northern King desperately held Hun Qianmo back, Xiao Yan quickly activated his destruction fire body form. With a thought, he summoned fire spirit Xiao Yi and instantly condensed a 6-colored destruction fire lotus. Then he hurled it fiercely at Hun Qianmo. A heaven-shaking explosion rang out. As the flame storm slowly dispersed, Hun Qianmo walked out from the center of the explosion completely unharmed. Boy, you do have some skill. But if this is your trump card, then obediently hand over the Tuasha Ancient Emperor Jade. This old man can at least let you die peacefully. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly. This was the first time he had used the Destruction Fire Lotus while also activating the Destruction Fire Body. He had not expected that even this would be unable to seriously injure Hun Qianmo. After pondering for a moment, Xiao Yan suddenly looked at Elder Shenong and Yao Tian. Senior Shenong, Yao Tian, temporarily lend me the heavenly flames within your bodies. Elder Shenong and Yao Tian were both stunned, but there was no time to ask questions. With a wave of his hand, Elder Shenong handed the life flame in his body to Xiao Yan. After a brief hesitation, Yao Tian also quickly spat out a cluster of deep brown flame. This was the 13th ranked heavenly flame on the heavenly flame ranking, the turtle spirit earth flame. Xiao Yan's goal was naturally to merge an unprecedented 8-colored destruction fire lotus. Although forcibly fusing another person's heavenly flame carried some difficulty, with Xiao Yan's current perfect heavenly state soul power and the pressure of the purifying demonic lotus flame, the process went rather smoothly. As those two heavenly flames gradually merged with Xiao Yan's own 6 heavenly flames, an energy fluctuation that even made Xiao Yan's heart tremble quietly spread outward. At this moment, Hun Qianmo, who was still fighting the Northern King, finally sensed it. The corner of his mouth twitched. Even as a late-stage 7-star Dou Sheng, he could feel a trace of danger from that terrifying power. He immediately punched the Northern King hundreds of meters away and charged toward Xiao Yan, intending to interrupt the fusion. Yao Lao and Elder Shenong hurriedly mobilized all their Dou Qi to stop him, but Hun Yin's fierce palm wind struck them until they spat blood and flew backward. A group of worthless small fry also dreams of escaping from the hands of my Hun Clan? Ridiculous. As he spoke, Hun Qianmo slammed a palm heavily onto Xiao Yan's body. If not for the Dragon Phoenix ancient armor that Zi Yan had given him, Xiao Yan might have died on the spot. Even so, 5 deep claw marks were torn into the tough bone armor. However, as Xiao Yan was sent flying backward, a beautiful 8-colored fire lotus shot straight toward Hun Qianmo. Before he could react, the fire lotus exploded in front of him. Countless beams of light filled with destructive power shot densely out from the flames. Anyone struck by those beams instantly turned to ash. Hun Qianmo was naturally the first to bear the brunt. In the blink of an eye, he was completely swallowed by the flames. Under the force of the immense destructive impact, the surrounding mountains were melted away. As the flame storm slowly dispersed, Hun Qianmo could be seen wrapped in black qi. Although his exact appearance could not be seen, Xiao Yan could sense that Hun Yin's aura had become extremely weak. Clearly, he had been seriously injured. Yao Tian and the others beside Xiao Yan sucked in cold breaths as they stared at the scene in shock. They could hardly imagine that Xiao Yan had actually beaten a late-stage 7-star Dou Sheng expert into such a miserable state. Because of the explosion of the 8-colored fire lotus, the spatial seal that had already loosened was finally blasted open into a crack. With his face pale, Xiao Yan hurriedly grabbed a handful of medicinal pills and stuffed them into his mouth. After throwing the life flame and turtle spirit earth flame back to Elder Shenong and Yao Tian, he did not dare rest. He immediately led everyone toward the spatial crack. Whether they could survive today depended entirely on this moment. At the same time, after the heavily injured Hun Qianmo staggered back to his feet, he furiously ordered the other Hun Clan members to stop them. But the Hun Clan experts also knew that Xiao Yan and the others now had hope of escape. The Hun Clan pursuers were all intercepted by the Yao Clan members, who were self-destructing like madmen without regard for their lives. Hun Jing, who was fighting Yao Dan, saw this and his expression turned dark. He had not expected that Xiao Yan would even be able to repel Hun Qianmo. But just as Hun Jing planned to withdraw and block them, Yao Dan seemed to see through his intention. Yao Dan looked with deep reluctance at Yao Tian, Yao Ling, and the others desperately fleeing with Xiao Yan. Then the Dou Qi in his body surged wildly. Xiao Yan, thank you. As soon as he finished speaking, a destructive explosion no weaker than the 8-colored fire lotus erupted once again in this space. Anyone caught in the aftermath, except for a small number of extremely powerful experts, was instantly reduced to ash. Facing the self-destruction of a 7-star Dou Sheng, the Hun Clan experts who had been planning to intercept Xiao Yan had no choice but to retreat. Even powerful figures like Hun Jing and Hun Qianmo were forced to avoid the blast. As the storm gradually dissipated, Hun Jing and Hun Qianmo immediately turned their gazes toward the place where Xiao Yan and the others had fled. All they saw was a spatial crack slowly healing. Xiao Yan and the others had already disappeared completely. Hun Jing and Hun Qianmo looked furious as they cursed toward the place where Yao Dan had self-destructed. That damned old madman. If that old fool had not self-destructed to stop them, they would certainly have been able to keep Xiao Yan and the others here for good. But by now, it no longer mattered much. The piece of Tu Shi ancient Emperor Jade in Yao Dan's hands had already been seized by them. Besides, the 4 demon saints of the Hun Clan who had come on this expedition were not limited to the 2 of them. Hun Sha and Hun Tu, whose strength was comparable to theirs, had also come along. It was just that those 2 had to remain outside, assisting Nihility devouring flame in stabilizing the spatial seal around the Yao Clan. So Hun Yan immediately sent a message to Hun Sha, ordering him to intercept and kill Xiao Yan and the others, while they themselves would remain behind. After all, their true purpose in coming here was to collect the Yao Clan's bloodline power. With this batch of bloodline power, not only could the Hun Clan's own bloodline continue for nearly 1,000 more years, but if the clan's plan succeeded, their clan leader, Hun Tian, might very well become the first person on the Dou Qi Continent in nearly 1,000 years to step into the Dou Di realm. As soon as he thought of this, Hun Yan summoned the other Hun Clan experts. They slaughtered every remaining member of the Yao Clan and began gathering their bloodline power. At the same time, after Xiao Yan and the others escaped through a spatial crack not far from the Shinong Mountains, Yao Lao and Xiao Yan finally let out a deep sigh of relief. To be able to escape alive from the Hun Clan's blockade could only be called a miracle. Beside them, the dozen or so younger members of the Yao Clan whom Xiao Yan had rescued from the Yao realm all wore grief-stricken expressions. They knelt toward the direction of the mountains. Then Yao Tian turned around, cupped his fists solemnly toward Xiao Yan, and said, "Mr. Xiao Yan, your great kindness is something we can never repay. If there is ever a chance in the future, I, Yao Tian, will repay you with my life. Just live well." "There's no need to repay anything," Yao Lao sighed. "If the seniors of the Yao Clan hadn't fought with their lives, none of us would have escaped. What should we do next?" Hearing Yao Lao's words, Xiao Yan fell into thought. This time, the Hun Clan had acted far too brutally. Not only had they wiped out the Yao Clan, they had not even spared the elders of the other sections. If Xiao Yan spread news of this matter, the Hun Clan would certainly be condemned and attacked by all the factions across the Central Plains. But to the Hun Clan, those sects and powers were no more than ants. They would not pose any real threat. So Xiao Yan decided that his next step would be to take Yao Tian and Yao Ling with him to seek support from the Gu clan. After all, among the forces that could contend with the Hun clan now, only that ancient clan had the strength to do so. As for the other Yao clan members, Xiao Yan asked Yao Lao to take them back to the Tianfu alliance first. With so many people accompanying him to the Gu clan, they would not be of any help. Instead, they would become a burden. As for old Xinnong, since he had already been discovered by the Hun clan earlier, and given their methods, they would definitely not let him go. So old Xinnong proposed that he follow Yao Lao and the others back to the Tianfu alliance. Xiao Yan was naturally very willing to agree. After all, this man was not only a 6-star Dou Sheng, but his alchemy skills were also something few could match. If he joined the Tianfu alliance, he would undoubtedly become another great source of strength. However, just as everything had been arranged and they were about to leave, Xiao Yan's expression suddenly changed. He abruptly turned his gaze toward a nearby mountain peak. There, a black figure holding a great blade was staring fixedly at them. Old Xinnong's expression immediately darkened. It's Hun Sha, one of the 4 demon saints of the Hun clan. His strength is no weaker than Hun Jing or Hun Yi. In order to exterminate the Yao clan, the Hun clan really has sent out its strongest people. At the same time, Hun Sha's figure moved and appeared directly in front of Xiao Yan and the others. He had not expected that someone would actually be able to break the seal set up by Nihility devouring flame and escape. And this person was even a remnant of the Xiao clan. Fortunately, the Hun clan had made a decisive choice back then and wiped that clan out completely. Otherwise, if Xiao Xian were still alive now, the Hun clan would truly have suffered. After all, before that man died, he had beaten their clan leader, Hun Tian, so badly that Hun Tian had needed nearly 1,000 years of recuperation before fully recovering. Facing Hun Sha, who had suddenly appeared, Xiao Yan immediately proposed that he stay behind to hold him off while Yao Lao and the others continued with the original plan and took everyone away first. As he spoke, he took out the 9th-tier mysterious pill he had refined during the Yao ceremony. Seeing this, Yao Lao finally relaxed slightly, but there was still worry in his eyes. The medicinal power of a 9th-tier mysterious pill was terrifyingly intense. If swallowed directly, one normally needed many supplementary pills to help refine and neutralize the power. Otherwise, it would cause a certain degree of damage to the body. But now, there was no better option. So Yao Lao handed Xiao Yan a jade talisman and said, "When you are out of danger, crush this. I will sense it." After saying that, his body shot away first. Behind him, old Xinnong grabbed the younger members of the Yao clan and quickly followed. When Hun Sha saw this, he hurriedly swung out a stream of Dou Qi to stop them, but Xiao Yan blocked it. As for Yao Lao and the others leaving smoothly, Hun Sha did not seem to care much. Instead, he stared greedily at the 9th-tier mysterious pill in Xiao Yan's hand and said coldly, "Hand over the pill, and perhaps I'll consider leaving you with an intact corpse. Otherwise, I will definitely let you taste the torment of 10,000 souls devouring your body." But Xiao Yan paid no attention to such threats. Without even bothering to respond, he flipped his hand and threw the 9th-tier mysterious pill straight into his mouth. In an instant, wave after wave of vast energy surged violently from within his body. Then, over the surface of his body, it formed a layer of armor that looked almost like crystal. Under this ferocious energy, even Xiao Yan's soul, which had already reached the perfection of the heavenly state, could barely endure it. Yao Ling and Yao Tian, who stood beside him, were shaken back repeatedly by the energy. Seeing this, Hun Sha smiled sinisterly. Interesting. But swallowing a 9th-tier mysterious pill requires many auxiliary items to dissolve its medicinal power. Doing this is simply courting death. Since I gave you a path and you refused to take it, don't blame me for being ruthless." As soon as he finished speaking, he raised the blood-red blade in his hand, which was over 2 meters long, and slashed toward Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan did not back down either. He swung the heavy Xian ruler and met him head-on. Facing Xiao Yan, whose Dou Qi had gone berserk after swallowing the 9th-tier mysterious pill, Hun Sha's expression slowly became somewhat ugly. With every clash, his arms were shaken until they turned numb. Xiao Yan's almost frenzied assault even began to push him slightly into a disadvantage. But Hun Sha remained unusually calm. In his view, although the 9th-tier mysterious pill was powerful, Xiao Yan currently had no time to refine its medicinal power. Once that burst of energy was exhausted, he wanted to see how Xiao Yan would continue fighting him. Yet Xiao Yan did not care about his calculations at all. He swung his ruler fiercely again and sent Hun Sha flying thousands of feet away. Several mountains along the way were shattered into powder by the impact. Xiao Yan threw his head back and laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. That felt good. We'll fight again another day. After saying that, he immediately turned around and shot off in another direction. There, a black shadow was flying rapidly while carrying two figures. This was the North King, whom Xiao Yan had secretly ordered to take Yao Tian and Yao Ling away while he held off Hun Sha. Meanwhile, Hun Sha, who had been tricked, stood up from the pile of broken rocks. His face was filled with fury as he quickly chased in the direction where Xiao Yan had disappeared. Through gritted teeth he snarled, "Xiao Yan, no matter where you run, I will catch you, peel off your flesh and torment your soul." After deceiving Hun Sha, Xiao Yan quickly brought Yao Tian and Yao Ling with him and rushed toward the Dou clan's territory. But Hun Sha had no intention of letting him go. He continued to pursue from behind. Now, after swallowing the 9th-tier mysterious pill, Xiao Yan's body had already been ravaged internally by the violent energy to a miserable state. Even though he was desperately refining it, the effect was still like trying to put out a burning cart with a cup of water. And even with the strength of the 9th-tier mysterious pill supporting him, he was still fleeing while bringing Yao Tian and Yao Ling along. At this rate, it would not be long before Hun Sha caught up. So, in order for all of them to survive, Xiao Yan proposed, "With my current physical condition, I can only take one person. Besides, Hun Sha's target is me. As for the person who leaves, they will definitely be able to preserve their life." But as soon as Xiao Yan finished speaking, both Yao Tian and Yao Ling said at the same time that they would stay behind. Seeing this, Yao Ling directly struck Yao Tian with her palm and sent him flying. Yao Tian landed in a sorry state. His eyes reddened as he watched Xiao Yan and Yao Ling disappear into the distance. Without wasting words, he turned and rushed off in another direction. Meanwhile, Yao Ling, whose waist was held by Xiao Yan as they sped forward, had a faint blush on her cheeks. From the time Xiao Yan had refined the 9th-tier mysterious pill at the Yao ceremony, to the sudden invasion of the Yao Clan by the Hun Clan army, this man had fought his way through danger again and again. In the end, he had brought them out of what should have been a death trap. Without her realizing it, he had already quietly captured Yao Ling's heart. Of course, Xiao Yan, who was now busy fleeing for his life, knew nothing of this. After the chase in the sky continued for several more hours, Xiao Yan's soul power finally began to dry up. The reason Yao Ling was known as the Yao Clan member with the greatest hope of reaching the D-state soul realm was precisely because her blood was special. It had the unique ability to nourish another person's soul. So after Yao Ling took out some of her own blood to nourish him, Xiao Yan's depleted strength gradually recovered. "Thank you," Xiao Yan said. "We're not far from the Dou clan now. Once we get there, we'll be safe." After saying that, he pushed his speed to the limit once again and shot forward. Behind him, Hun Sha's expression darkened. He had not expected that the boy, whose speed had clearly been slowing down and whom he was about to catch, would suddenly speed up again. Immediately, Hun Sha changed his hand seals. A pair of black wings several hundred feet wide materialized behind him. He spat a mouthful of blood essence onto the wings and shouted sharply, "Boy, you want to seek shelter from the Dou clan? I won't give you that chance." As soon as he finished speaking, his figure vanished from where he stood. Xiao Yan naturally sensed Hun Sha's disappearance. He immediately brought Yao Ling down at high speed. But just as the two of them landed, Hun Sha tore through the air above their heads. He raised his blood-red blade and slashed down at Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan hurriedly summoned the fire spirit, Xiao Yi. Just as he was about to use the power of the golden thunder dragon coiled around Xiao Yi's arm, an old man in green robes appeared instantly in front of Xiao Yan and easily dissolved Hun Sha's attack. The old man said coldly, "Killing people on the territory of my Dou clan, Hun Sha? You are being a little too arrogant." Looking at the green-robed elder, Hun Sha's face also became solemn. This person was Gu Dao, one of the 3 immortals of the Dou clan. The strength of those 3 was the same as the 4 demon saints of the Hun clan. They were all 7-star Dou Shengs. Hun Sha had not expected that this old fellow would arrive at such a critical moment. So he immediately tried to persuade Gu Dao to withdraw, saying this matter had nothing to do with the Gu clan. But Gu Dao flatly refused, saying that Xiao Yan could be considered half a member of the Gu clan. Xiao Yan was stunned when he heard this. After all, where had this half a member of the Gu clan come from? You brat, Gu Dao laughed. You took Suner's chastity in the demon fire space. Don't tell me you're trying to deny responsibility now. Hearing this, Xiao Yan scratched his head awkwardly. Then he told Gu Dao the news that the Yao Clan had been exterminated by the Hun Clan. When Gu Dao heard this, his heart was shaken, though it was not entirely beyond expectation. After the Stone Clan and the Spirit Clan had been wiped out, they had already suspected that the Hun Clan was responsible. They simply had never had conclusive evidence. So it really was you, Gu Dao said angrily. You people really do talk too much, Hun Sha sneered. Don't worry. Sooner or later, your Gu clan will meet the same fate as them. That depends on whether you have such a large appetite. An appetite like that isn't proven just by words. After saying that, Hun Sha raised his blood-red blade and charged at Gu Dao. Gu Dao naturally did not back down. Holding a light staff, he met him head-on. While the two of them began an earth-shaking battle, Xiao Yan quickly sat cross-legged and controlled Xiao Yi to begin refining the residual energy of the 9th-tier mysterious pill. Immediately, wave after wave of powerful Dou Qi merged rapidly into Xiao Yan's body. Faintly, there was even a sign that he was about to break through. At the same time, Hun Sha, who was fighting Gu Dao, began to grow anxious. After all, this was the territory of the Gu clan. The commotion caused by their battle was far too great. If the other two members of the Gu clan's 3 immortals arrived later, then today, let alone capturing Xiao Yan, even he himself might not be able to retreat safely. As these thoughts flashed through Hun Sha's mind, he once again condensed a giant blood-red sword and clashed fiercely with Gu Dao. But this attack was easily shattered by Gu Dao. However, Hun Sha's original body instantly turned into a phantom and quietly faded away. Seeing this, Gu Dao's pupils shrank. He suddenly turned around. At that moment, Hun Sha had actually appeared right in front of Xiao Yan. Just as he was about to slam his palm down on Xiao Yan's head, Xiao Yan's tightly shut eyes suddenly opened. A much stronger aura than before shot straight into the sky. Hun Sha's expression changed drastically. 6-Star Dou Sheng? You actually refined the 9th-tier mysterious pill. Xiao Yan ignored Hun Sha's shock. With a backhand motion, he directly flung the golden thunder dragon coiled around his arm toward Hun Sha. This was the power of the 9 mysterious golden lightning that Xiao Yan had refined in the void lightning pool. The sudden attack pierced straight through Hun Sha's palm, leaving a bloody hole. Even his body was forced back dozens of steps by the enormous impact before he finally stabilized himself. Gu Dao, who had rushed over, inhaled sharply at this sight. Even he could sense a terrifying energy from that golden beam that made his heart tremble. Looking at the nearly charred wound on his palm, Hun Sha also broke out in a cold sweat. His defense had not been able to resist it in the slightest. If that attack had struck his head directly, even he would likely have been severely injured. Just as Hun Sha's expression changed dramatically, a large group of Gu clan experts quickly rushed toward the area. Knowing that killing or capturing Xiao Yan was now impossible, Hun Sha cursed angrily. Then his body moved, turning into a streak of black light as he swiftly left. Before disappearing, he left behind a ruthless threat. Xiao Yan, remember this grudge. I will repay it tenfold. What Xiao Yan had not expected was that he had only refined a small portion of the 9th-tier mysterious pill's energy, yet he had already jumped from the late 5-star stage to the 6-star level. According to his estimate, if he absorbed all of it, reaching the middle stage of 6-Star Dou Sheng should not be difficult. So once this matter came to an end, he would need to find a place to refine the remaining energy. At the same time, Gu Dao, who had been tricked by Hun Sha, slowly came before Xiao Yan and said, "Looks like this old man's help was unnecessary this time." Xiao Yan hurriedly replied, "Senior, you must be joking. If you hadn't acted quickly, my body would probably have exploded from the medicinal power inside me by now." Gu Dao asked curiously, "Oh? What pill was it that even you couldn't withstand?" A 9th-tier mysterious pill, Xiao Yan answered. I had no choice but to take it in order to escape Hun Sha's pursuit. When Gu Dao heard this, the corner of his mouth twitched. One had to know that even he had never enjoyed a pill of that level. This boy truly had astonishing fortune. As the two of them were speaking, the large group of Gu Clan experts who had come to support them finally arrived. The person leading them was Ling Quan, who had once had several conflicts with Xiao Yan. When Ling Quan saw Xiao Yan, his expression instantly became somewhat unnatural. Although Ling Quan had stayed inside the Gu realm all these years, he had heard about Xiao Yan's shocking deeds across the Central Plains. Any one of those deeds was enough for Ling Quan to look up to for the rest of his life. Yet several decades ago, this being who was now like a giant demon of the Dou Qi Continent had once been completely powerless before him. Ling Quan could not help sighing inwardly. Had this fellow cheated somehow? How could he have grown so quickly? And when Ling Quan learned from Gu Dao that the person who had attacked earlier was Hun Sha, one of the 4 demon saints of the Hun Clan, and that one of Hun Sha's hands had even been injured by Xiao Yan, he was so shocked that he could not speak for a moment. A figure like Hun Sha was almost legendary in their minds. Yet Xiao Yan had not only escaped safely from his hands, he had also forced the other party to retreat injured. With such ability, even if Ling Quan had disliked Xiao Yan in the past, he now had no choice but to submit. Since the crisis had been resolved, Xiao Yan and Yao Ling followed Gu Dao into the Gu realm. The extermination of the Yao Clan was a matter of great importance, and Gu Dao had to report it to clan leader Gu Yuan. Meanwhile, inside one of the Gu clan's great halls, many elders were gathered with grave expressions. Sitting in the chief seat was naturally Gu Yuan, who had once met Xiao Yan before. To Gu Yuan's left sat 2 white-robed elders whose auras were so powerful that they were not weaker than Gu Dao's. Presumably, these were the other 2 members of the Gu clan's 3 immortals. Of course, among the many elders, Xiao Yan also saw some familiar old faces. For example, Gu Qian and Gu Su, the 2 brothers who had once held prejudice against Xiao Yan during the Gu clan's coming-of-age ceremony, now had rather complicated expressions. After all, no one could have imagined that the reckless boy who had merely been a Dou Zun back then would now have grown into a terrifying 6-star Dou Sheng. Compared to the Gu clan's 3 immortals, he was only weaker by 1 star. Naturally, Xiao Yan paid no attention to the expressions of those old fellows. His gaze was fixed firmly on Suner, who sat to Gu Yuan's right. Facing Gu Yuan in the chief seat, Xiao Yan respectfully bowed and said, "Xiao Yan greets clan leader Gu Yuan." Gu Yuan looked at Xiao Yan and sighed emotionally. In less than 10 years, you have reached this level. The Xiao clan is truly fortunate. If Xiao Xian knew of this, he would probably be deeply gratified. Then Gu Yuan added, "In the future, you may call me uncle. Although my seniority is far above yours, who asked me to have such a daughter?" Hearing this, Suner's pretty face immediately turned crimson. Meanwhile, the hearts of many outstanding younger members of the Gu clan turned cold. Since Gu Yuan had spoken like this, it meant he had acknowledged the relationship between Xiao Yan and Suner. That meant this group of devoted admirers no longer had any chance. Xiao Yan naturally understood the meaning behind Gu Yuan's words, so he hurriedly changed his form of address. Many thanks, Uncle Gu Yuan. Enough. Tell us about the Yao clan. Gu Yuan changed the subject. Next, Xiao Yan recounted everything that had happened to the Yao clan in full detail. When Gu Yuan heard that Nihility Devouring Flame had not only appeared in the Yao realm but had also summoned the Devouring Spirit clan, his expression changed. Nihility Devouring Flame had once been seriously injured by Gu Yuan long ago. It seemed that after 1,000 years of recuperation, it had completely recovered. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for it to swallow the Yao clan's entire space into its body. But what Gu Yuan had never expected was that Nihility Devouring Flame could actually transform into the Devouring Spirit clan. One had to know that in ancient times, this clan had been wiped out by the combined efforts of the other ancient clans because it could devour the bloodline power of other races. After thinking for a moment, Gu Yuan suddenly recalled that the final clan leader of the Devouring Spirit clan had been captured alive by the Hun Clan. It seemed likely that Nihility Devouring Flame had devoured him and obtained his abilities. In that case, everything made sense. Over the past several thousand years, the bloodline power of the other ancient clans had gradually weakened, yet the Hun Clan had never shown any signs of decline. Now, the Hun Clan had taken action against the Spirit, Stone, and Yao clans. Their goals had always been twofold. First, they wanted to absorb bloodline power. Second, they naturally wanted to seize the ancient jade. It seems Hun Tian can no longer endure, Gu Yuan analyzed. Xiao Yan added, right now, the Hun Clan already has 4 pieces of ancient jade. As for the other 4, I'm sure they will do everything possible to obtain them. Once they open the cave residence of Dou Qi Ancient Emperor, they may be able to obtain the secret to advancing to Dou Di. If that happens, there will be no clan on the Dou Qi Continent capable of opposing them. Therefore, I propose that at a time like this, we must unite and oppose the Hun Clan together. But after hearing Xiao Yan's words, Gu Yuan remained silent. The other Gu clan elders also stayed silent. Although what had happened made them uneasy, if they truly intended to go to war with the Hun Clan, it would inevitably become an extremely brutal conflict. Even for someone as powerful as Gu Yuan, such a decision was difficult to make quickly. This silence continued for several minutes before Xiao Yan finally spoke again. Uncle Gu, among the ancient 8 clans, aside from the Hun Clan, only 3 clans remain. If another clan is destroyed, perhaps we will only be able to wait for death. If we fight, there is still a chance to survive. If we do not, then the fate of the Spirit, Stone, and Yao clans will certainly fall upon us. Under everyone's gaze, Gu Yuan finally let out a slow sigh. Good boy. You do have enough courage. Then he ordered, someone, set out immediately for the Yan clan and the Lei clan. Invite the 2 clan leaders here to discuss the matter of our survival. At that moment, Xiao Yan's tense heart finally relaxed. After all, he had witnessed the terrifying strength of the Hun Clan with his own eyes. Looking across the Dou Qi Continent, aside from the Gu clan, it would probably be difficult to find any other force capable of contending with them. If the Gu clan still chose to stand still and do nothing, then the Qianfu alliance might soon face a crisis of life and death. The expressions of the many Gu clan elders inside the hall also became somewhat complicated. They understood that from this day on, the Gu clan's peace would never return. The 2 most powerful superfactions on the Dou Qi Continent would finally clash again after 1,000 years. After Gu Yuan learned from Xiao Yan that the Yao clan had been completely wiped out by the Hun Clan, he sent people to invite the clan leaders of the Lei clan and the Yan clan to the Gu clan to discuss their survival. Gu Yuan's decisions soon spread throughout the upper levels of the Gu clan. For a time, the atmosphere across the entire Gu realm became tense. Many experts were sent to the Central Plains to closely monitor every movement of the Hun Clan. While the entire Gu clan entered a state of alert, Xiao Yan temporarily chose to stay in the Gu clan. There was still a portion of the 9th tier mysterious pill's power in his body. If he did not thoroughly refine it in time, it would cause irreversible damage. So he asked Sooner to find him a room, intending to deal with the matter immediately. As for the materials required for the refining, his little girlfriend had already prepared them. When she saw Xiao Yan preparing to begin refining, Sooner reluctantly left the room and stood outside the door to guard her brother Xiao Yan. At the same time, a black shadow suddenly flashed over. This person was Ling Ying, the only Dou Huang of the Gu clan who had once been entrusted by Sooner to protect Xiao Yan all the way back in the Jiaomar Empire. Looking at the commotion inside the room, Ling Ying sighed and said, Miss Sooner's judgment is indeed far beyond what an old, dim-eyed fellow like me can compare with. Back then, although I felt that young Master Xiao Yan's future achievements would not be poor, I never dared imagine that he would reach this point. Hearing this, Sooner smiled. There was a hint of pride on her face. She rested her delicate hand against her cheek and recalled every little moment she had spent with Xiao Yan in the past. The current Sooner was very grateful that her childhood had been spent in that small Wu Tan city. Whether now or in the future, that life would always be kept in the deepest part of her heart. During the next several dozen days of seclusion, with the terrifying purifying power of the purifying lotus demon flame and the many rare medicinal ingredients Sooner had prepared, Xiao Yan smoothly refined all the remaining energy of the 9th tier mysterious pill. His strength also reached the middle stage of 6-star Dou Sheng. When Xiao Yan finished, Sooner sensed it as well and pushed the door open. She entered with a smile and said, Congratulations, Brother Xiao Yan. Your strength has improved again. Also, Brother Xiao Yan, the people from the Yan clan and the Lei clan have already arrived at the Gu clan. Father said you should go over as well. Xiao Yan nodded slightly. After all, behind him now stood the enormous Tianfu alliance. Even ancient clans like the Gu clan would not easily ignore him. When Xiao Yan and Suner arrived outside the Great Hall, many people had already gathered there. Seated to the left of the hall's main seat was a middle-aged man dressed in crimson robes. This person was the clan leader of the Yan clan, Yan Jin. According to Suner, Yan Jin's control over flames had already reached an extraordinary level. Within his body were two heavenly flames. One was the volcanic stone flame, ranked 17th on the heavenly flame ranking. The other was the Nine Serene golden ancestral flame, ranked 7th. Moreover, these two flames had fused and formed a new power. Although its might could not compare to Xiao Yan's purifying lotus demon flame, it could still contend with Suner's golden emperor incinerating heavenly flame without falling behind. Hearing this, Xiao Yan was somewhat surprised. After all, this was the first time he had seen someone capable of fusing two heavenly flames without relying on the flame mantra. He understood very clearly how difficult that was. Even with his current strength, if he relied solely on himself, forcibly fusing two heavenly flames would still be quite difficult. However, he also understood that fusing two heavenly flames was likely already Yan Jin's limit. If another flame were added, unless he had reached the Dou D level, he might very well end up burning himself. When Xiao Yan's gaze turned to the other side, he saw a man like an iron tower sitting upright on the right side of the chief seat. This man was the clan leader of the Lei clan, Lei Ying. Lei Ying's strength was similar to Yan Jin's. Both were 8-star Dou Shengs, and he was also the strongest person in the Lei clan. This Lei Ying is extremely fond of battle, Suner said. It is said that he once fought senior Xiao Xian back then, though he was defeated. A hint of surprise flashed through Xiao Yan's eyes. Naturally, he knew nothing about such ancient matters. But back then, ancestor Xiao Xian had been called the strongest person in the world, yet Lei Ying had still dared to challenge him. It seemed the claim that he loved battle was indeed true. While Xiao Yan and Suner were speaking quietly in a corner, Gu Hua, one of the black submerged army commanders who had once entered the heavenly tomb with them, sneaked over. Seeing Suner's puzzled gaze, Gu Hua said with a gloomy face, "I came to ask for reinforcements." It turned out that now that the clan leaders of the Lei clan and Yan clan had come to visit the Gu clan, the younger generation of those two clans had also come along. The people of the Yan clan were very polite and gave no reason for complaint. But those Lei clan fellows, restless by nature like monkeys, had been deliberately provoking others everywhere. The skilled members of the Black Submerged Army ended up fighting with them. As a result, the Black Submerged Army members failed to live up to expectations. They were provoked into anger and were beaten badly. Since their subordinates had been beaten, Gu Hua and the others, as their leaders, naturally had to step forward to uphold their dignity. So they made a move and drove those troublemakers back. But the other side refused to accept it and brought in reinforcements. Not only was Gu Hua beaten up, but Gu Ying and Gu Yi, who were also commanders of the Black Submerged Army, were also slapped hard across the face. At this point, Gu Hua was incredibly depressed. After all, losing at their own doorstep was far too embarrassing. Suner asked in confusion, "Why not let Big Brother Qingyang handle this? He is the Grand Commander of the Black Submerged Army, the head of all of you." Big Brother Qingyang was also defeated by that fellow. "Otherwise, I wouldn't have come looking for you." Gu Hua sighed. Hearing this, Xiao Yan and Suner were both slightly moved. After all, the current Gu Qingyang was already a 2-star Dou Sheng. There was actually someone among the younger generation of the Lei clan capable of defeating him. Xiao Yan pondered for a moment and said, "Could it be that fellow?" "Humph. I didn't expect that guy to have become this strong." Suner asked curiously, "Who is that fellow?" "Lei Dong," Xiao Yan answered. "The most dazzling genius of the Lei clan in the past several hundred years. It's said that he stayed in the Thunder Realm's Devil Lightning Pool for 5 years. A full year longer than the record set by Lei Ying in his youth. The Lei clan is already preparing to nurture him as their next clan leader." Suner then explained, "Also, the Lei clan once came to the Gu clan to propose marriage. At the time, quite a few elders supported it. But later, due to certain matters, it was temporarily set aside. As for the two main people involved in that proposed marriage, they were me and Lei Dong. Hearing Sooner say this, Xiao Yan was stunned. He had not expected that not only did the Lei clan have such an outstanding younger generation member, but that this person was also someone who had failed to steal his wife. At the same time, Gu Hua smiled and asked Sooner, hoping she would take action and teach Lei Dong a lesson. But Sooner refused outright, saying it was a meaningless contest of pride. Hearing this, Gu Hua was not anxious. Instead, he turned his gaze directly to Xiao Yan and smiled. If you don't want to act, then let brother-in-law Xiao Yan take action and help our black submerged army regain some face. Although even the clan leader is satisfied with brother-in-law Xiao Yan now, we brothers of the black submerged army are still waiting for your grand wedding. When the time comes, we'll definitely help make it lively and glorious. Then he looked at Xiao Yan. So, brother Xiao Yan, do you want to go and test the methods of the Lei clan's younger generation? Hearing Gu Hua's words, Sooner's pretty face immediately flushed red. Xiao Yan, however, could not help smiling. All these years, he had constantly dealt with old monsters. It was almost as though he had forgotten his own age. Strictly speaking, he should now be like Gu Hua and the others, at an age where one's sharpness was exposed and youthful pride ran high. So Xiao Yan immediately replied, "Lead the way. Let me go see what ability this person who failed to steal my wife actually has."